Phillips in goal, and G, McGuinness and Flint the back three, with Bagan and Denham in the wide areas, Vauxhall, King and Pack in midfield, Harris and Collins up front.
Nigel, thanks very much. Time now for us to get the latest odds from Betfair.
Game day on Talksport with Betfair. Bet with a cash out you can rely on this season, with no cash out suspensions on match odds. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Jessica Fidgen from Betfair, how you doing?
Yeah, very well. It's looking like an exciting day out at Anfield for Cardiff and Liverpool. Liverpool currently are expected as the overwhelming favourites to win this, with match odds at 1-20, with the draw 13-1. And if Cardiff could pull off an upset at Anfield, it's currently 30-1 on the sportsbook. The odds have already drifted slightly since Friday after some promising performances by lower league teams against Premier League outfits. And Liverpool have been knocked out at this stage the last 4 times out of 6 under Jurgen Klopp, so maybe one to keep a close eye on for all you Cardiff fans. Also, on the both teams to score market, we've seen plenty of them in the 4th round cup tie so far, and this is no different at 13-8 on the sportsbook. With Liverpool netting 15 goals over the last 4 meetings with the Bluebirds, it should be an interesting one. And then again, with our first goal scorer as Diogo Jota, it's currently 2-1, as he hopes to add to his goal scoring tally while Salah and Mane are at AFCON. So that leaves us with Liverpool to win on match odds, both odds to score, and Diogo Jota first goal scorer on a bet builder. It's 10.85 return.
Jess, thanks very much. That odds update, all thanks to Betfair. You can get a £5 free bet when you bet £20 on multiples or bet builders with their daily rewards. Betfair, where you'll get no cash out suspensions on match odds and over under goal markets on football.
Game day on Talksport with Betfair. Bet with a cash out you can rely on this season, with no cash out suspensions on match odds. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
So over on Talksport 2 at 12:30 this lunchtime, there's commentary of Manchester City away to Chelsea in the Women's Super League. Leaders Arsenal were held yesterday. That means if Chelsea win their 2 games in hand on the Gunners, the champions go top of the table. Top one today, because Gareth Taylor's City are getting their act together. Let's get the team news with your commentator on Talksport 2, Joe Shannon.
Yes, welcome to Kings Meadow. Sold out today on one of the biggest weekends of the Women's Super League season so far. Chelsea won the domestic treble last year, and they're on to do it again. Closing in on Arsenal, still in the FA Cup, and they'll play in the League Cup final on March the 5th, live on Talksport 2. Their opponents that day will be Manchester City, who come here still determined to finish in the top 3, having won 8 of their last 9 in all competitions. After knocking out Manchester United in the League Cup semis on Wednesday, there are 2 changes for Chelsea, with first-choice keeper Ann-Katrin Berger and Sam Kerr, who's scored 9 goals in 9 WSL games this season, both coming back in. So Berger will be in goal. Carter, Bright, Nuven and Anderson the back 4, with Cuthbert, Ingle, Fleming and Wrighton the midfield 4, Kerr and Harder the front 2. Manchester City are unchanged from the side that beat Spurs in the League Cup last 4. Roebuck the goalkeeper, Bronze, Greenwood, Mace and Stokes, Weir, Walsh and Stanway, with Park, Hemp and Shaw furthest forward. Former England and Chelsea defender Claire Rafferty with me for commentary at 12:30 on Talksport 2.
Joe, on yesterday's game, Arsenal drawing with Manchester United gives Chelsea that glimmer of hope at the top of the table. So a big game today for Chelsea. And then, of course, on Friday, Chelsea meet Arsenal. So it's really hot enough.
The title race is becoming intriguing, isn't it, Aid? As you said, Chelsea 5 points off the top of the table, but they have 2 games in hand. Emma Hayes' team, you really feel like, are getting into the groove. She's confident that they are still title favourites, and you have to say, given Chelsea's recent record and the depth of squad that they have, they will be the side that come closest to overhauling Arsenal at the top and going on to win the league. But the one thing that we do know so far this season is the unpredictability of the WSL. Manchester United might feel they still have a shout at the title as well, and even that race for the top 3, Manchester City is still in there, Spurs are 4th at the start of the day, so there's lots to be decided before the end of the campaign.
Joe, thanks very much. That's live on Talksport 2. Kicks off at 12:30 with Joe and the former England fullback Claire Rafferty. If you want to get Talksport 2, just download the Talksport app for free. Swipe left for Talksport 2 and you'll find all sorts of award-winning podcasts on the app as well. Loads for you to listen to. You can listen to, of course, both Talksport and Talksport 2. There's a list of live commentaries coming up and how you can listen to those as well. And the forthcoming schedule on both Talksport and Talksport 2. You can also go back and listen to old shows on the schedule as well. Plenty to enjoy on the TalkSport app, which is easy to download, and it's free, and it's easy to use as well. We are coming up to the FA Cup 5th round draw, which we'll have live on TalkSport, and let me take you through the numbers. Palace will be number 1, Bournemouth and Boreham Wood number 2, Huddersfield will be 3, the Posh will be number 4, Luton at 5, Southampton at 6, Chelsea at 7, Everton 8, West Ham just at 9, Middlesbrough 10, Spurs 11, Liverpool or Cardiff will be number 12, Stoke 13, Forest or Leicester 14, Man City 15, Norwich 16. A word, Mickey Gray, on Man City, who you saw come from behind to beat Fulham. In the end, it looked comfortable to me, but when Carvalho put Fulham 1-0 up, was there a little wobble in the stadium for about 20 seconds?
Not really. They didn't panic at all. I think from that moment it was just all Manchester City, and I think I said it in commentary yesterday, Adrian, the difference between the top of the Championship to the top of the Premier League is absolutely huge. I think everybody probably expects Fulham to get promoted this season. When they get up, they've got a job in their hands, because Man City are just a street to everybody else in the Premier League, not just the Championship. And they just controlled that game. Giving younger players the opportunity at the end of the game as well was absolutely fantastic. But there was an atmosphere there, and there was a sense that Pep Guardiola, we know what he's like in cup competitions. He wants to go all the way in the FA Cup this season. Well,
I had a message from a Man City fan who said to me yesterday, can't believe that with Stones and Ake at the back, Man City kept a clean sheet for 86 minutes. So there's maybe a little bit harsh. But when you bear in mind how many goals Fulham have been scoring this season, you're probably right about that gulf between the Premier League and the Championship. But we didn't have too many shocks yesterday. We had one on Friday night with Middlesbrough getting through. As I say, they're ball number 10 in the draw. We'll bring you live commentary of Forest Leicester, 4 o'clock kickoff on TalkSport later, and during Darren Bent's boot room we will keep you heavily in touch with what happens down on the south coast as Bournemouth take on the last of the non-leaguers, Boreham Wood, going well in the National League. But now it's time for the FA Cup draw with your presenter Seema Jawal and 2-time FA Cup winner Andy Cole.
No shortage of drama so far in the Emirates FA Cup. Yesterday, West Ham left it late at Tier 6 Kidderminster. We nearly had a shock at Stamford Bridge as Chelsea survived a scare against Plymouth. The round's major surprise was at Old Trafford. United beaten on penalties by Middlesbrough. What fate awaits the victors? Time for the 5th round draw with Seema Jawal.
And welcome along to Wembley Stadium for the Emirates FA Cup 5th round draw. It's an absolute pleasure to have your company, and I am delighted to have the company of Andy Cole to make the draw. Welcome along to you, Andy. Now, Andy is a former player that knows all about this competition, having won it twice. This was you back in 1996, beating Chelsea. You scored one of the all-important goals. Beckham went on to score the winner. And then you went on to beat Liverpool in the final, which must have felt great. And then, of course, you were part of that incredible treble-winning side in 1999. There you are, lifting the FA Cup. How special are those memories for you, Andy?
Very, very special. I think growing up playing the FA Cup, you always want to win it. You know, to look back on, obviously, that's all we have in the end. Memories.
Wonderful, exactly. Yeah. Well, let's talk about some more recent memories, and that's, of course, Manchester United going out of the FA Cup. It was the biggest upset in the 4th round, but when it goes to a penalty shootout, it could be anyone's game.
It can be, and that's why penalties, they are what they are. Some real good penalties, got to be brutally honest, and unfortunately, the young boy missed his penalty there, and Middlesbrough go through.
And that is the FA Cup, isn't it? Anything can happen, and that is why we love it. Well, we are ready to start proceedings. So, Andy, it's over to you. If you'd like to empty all of the balls into the bowl for us. Give the bag a good old shake. Make sure there's none in there.
Fingers crossed.
Beautifully done. Okay, Are you ready?
Yep.
Let's go for it.
Number 5.
Number 5 is Luton Town. Of course, beat Cambridge 3-0 yesterday evening. Who are they hosting?
Number 7.
They will play number 7, which is Chelsea, of course, under Thomas Tuchel. They were runners-up last season.
Number 1.
Number 1 is Crystal Palace, managed by Patrick Vieira, who's won this 5 times. Who's travelling to Selhurst Park, Andy?
Number 13.
Number 13, that is Stoke City, of course, 14th in the Championship and in round 5 for the first time since 2015.
Number 4.
Number 4 is Peterborough United in the 5th round for the first time since 1986.
Number 15.
And it is Manchester City that will be visiting Peterborough United. Wow, Manchester City, of course, flying high at the top of the Premier League table, beat Fulham yesterday as well.
Number 12.
Number 12 is Liverpool or Cardiff City. So the match between those two gets underway in about, 15 minutes' time.
Number 16.
And they will host number 16, Norwich City. So we either get an all-Premier League tie between Liverpool and Norwich, or it's Cardiff City hosting Norwich City.
Number 6.
Number 6 is Southampton. Just about made it through yesterday, didn't they? Which team is travelling to the south coast?
Number 9.
It is number 9, and that is West Ham United. They also just about made it through. It was a tough tie against Kidderminster, wasn't it, yesterday? Another all-Premier League affair.
Number 10.
Number 10 is Middlesbrough, the team that knocked out Manchester United on Friday. Chris Wilder's side will be hosting.
Number 11.
Number 11, and that is Tottenham Hotspur. It was a great win for them at home against Brighton last night.
Number 14.
Number 14. OK, this is either Nottingham Forest or Leicester City. This match gets underway later on today. Leicester City, of course, the current holders.
Number 3.
And it's Huddersfield Town that are number 3. So Huddersfield Town fans, you are either going to Nottingham Forest or to Leicester City.
So I can pull out the bag here. Number 8.
Number 8. Number 8 is Everton. Under their new manager, Frank Lampard, got off to a great start yesterday, beating Brentford 4-1.
Number 2.
And number 2. So that is the winner of AFC Bournemouth and Boreham Wood. Boreham Wood, the lowest ranked side remaining in the competition. That tie takes place later on today. Those fans will be travelling off to Everton. Well, it's lovely to have your company. Thank you so much. It's been brilliant. And that concludes the Emirates FA Cup 5th round draw.
Oh, wow. Pray for me. I cannot believe it. The first time Peterborough United get into the 5th round draw since 1986, since I was at school, since I was a little lad. And they get Man City at home. And Mickey Gray has just been telling me how brilliant Man City are. They've just walloped Fulham. They're top of the table. We're third bottom.
Well, I'll just say to you, Adrian, all the very best. There was a big gulp as that team came out. When you were quite excited when you got a home tie, but then when you heard the words Manchester City, it was like, oh no.
I wouldn't watch the pitch between now and the game. Just leave the pitch as it is.
No, they've ordered 5 tractors, Nigel. They're going to dig it all up. They're going to make it a leveller.
The reason why we're bottom 3 is because we play out from the back as well. So as I said at the start, hashtag pray for me. But just had a message from Trevor Sinclair saying, morning, Aid. Smiling emoji. A big Man City fan. This is where I revealed to the listeners that my son is actually a Manchester City fan. And we had dinner last night in Liverpool, and I said, what if Posh and Man City get drawn together? Who are you going to support? Because he's been watching Posh with me for like 20 years of his life. And he said, I won't mind if Peterborough win. Well, we'll never find out if he'll mind if Peterborough win. But there you go. That's the FA Cup 5th round draw. The winner of this one, Liverpool or Cardiff, take on Norwich City in the 5th round. But some decent enough ties there, actually. Some all Premier League ties as you'd expect. And as I said before, if Boreham Wood don't make it through, then it is just teams from the Premier League and the Championship in the 5th round draw for the FA Cup. So, of course, we will bring you as many games as we can on Talksport. We love the FA Cup. We have done for years on Talksport, and that ain't going to change any time soon. We will focus on this game here at Anfield as the crowd are filling up the seats. The atmosphere is cranking up. 8,000 Cardiff fans away to our left, filling those seats behind the goal. It's Liverpool against Cardiff, and it's coming up live on Talksport.
FA Cup live on Talksport with Neutrogena T-Gel Therapeutic Shampoo, official partner of Talksport's FA FA Cup coverage. Contains coal tar. Always read the label.
Boost your Experian credit score. Boost your score. Boost it high. Space high. Boost your credit score to space with Experian Boost. Grab that Boost high. Boost your credit score instantly for free. Only with Experian. Free Experian account linked to your current account is required. Score increase subject to status.
For a limited time, you can save 20% on selected British Gas home care cover.
Turn down for what?
The same cover that's been awarded 5 stars by Moneyfacts. All parts and labour are included, so if you ever wake up to an icy shower or busted boiler, we'll get it sorted without any surprise repair bills. Bring it on, winter. Don't miss out. 20% off ends 21st of February. Search British Gas home care. Terms, exclusions and geographical restrictions apply. 20% discount for first 12 months. 5-star rating is for home care 3 and 4. New customers only.
If someone has COVID-19, they breathe it out in particles. Particles that hang in the air like smoke. In airless rooms, COVID-19 can build up over time, so it's harder to avoid breathing it in. So when you're with others, open windows to disperse these particles. Just 10 minutes every now and again is enough to help. Stop COVID-19 hanging around.
30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30. Okay, I'm ready.
Recording.
Philip Schofield here. With We Buy Any Car, you can now get a quote in just 60... fiddlesticks. I mean, what was wrong with 60 seconds? Sure, 30 seconds for a quote is easier for customers, but not for me.
Take 52.
To find out how much your car's worth in 30 seconds, enter your reg number now at WeBuyAnyCar.com.
Admin fee may apply. For more information, see WeBuyAnyCar.com/info.
Winner. Can you hear it? That's a winner. And another one. That's the sound of sweet, sweet, epic downtime. With a winner every second on PokerStars Casino, nothing never sounded so good.
Join PokerStars Casino today and get 50 free spins on sign-up. Are you in? New casino players subject to account verification, valid on selected slots, 7-day expiry. Terms apply. 18 plus, play responsibly. BeGambleAware.org.
Triple cheese with extra cheese coming up. Hey, Sarah, your QuickBooks team here. Huh? Making tax digital is coming.
Says here you're worried about making a mistake.
But our error checker means you can submit VAT returns with confidence.
Oh, piece of cake.
So you can get back to turning cheese sandwiches into big cheddar.
Make tax digital with QuickBooks.
Get an expert guide to all the latest speculation, signings and spending sprees with Simon Jordan's Football Business Roundup on Talksport with Tesco Mobile for Business. From the latest deals worth knowing to where the big money transfers are going. Get the inside track in one all-covering football finance feature.
I do know what I'm talking about here.
Simon Jordan's Football Business Roundup on Talksport with Tesco Mobile for Business. With up to 40% off your business mobile bill, why shop around? Tesco Mobile. Every little helps. Terms apply. See tescomobile.com/terms.
Previously on White and Jordan. No one buys a football club until that football club is in absolute distress.
So the fans look at it differently.
Comments, conflict and confrontation. Well, who creates hell most of the time? The media whip up the Ferrari.
Hold on.
Even better than Cardiff. Let me finish this.
Here we go.
Disagree to disagree. Jim White and Simon Jordan.
I mean, do me a favour.
Continues tomorrow morning from 10 on Talksport.
Well, we are building up to kick-off. There's 8 minutes to go until we get underway. We now know the 5th round draw in the FA Cup. Luton, Chelsea, Palace, Stoke, Peterborough, Man City. Yep, you heard correctly. Liverpool or Cardiff winners here take on Norwich at home. Southampton take on West Ham. Borough, Spurs. Forest or Leicester against Huddersfield. And Everton will take on Bournemouth or Boreham Wood. Decent tie for Frank Lampard after that big win yesterday. Let's focus on this game. Cardiff have struggled this season in the Championship, and despite 2 recent victories, find themselves in the bottom 6. We asked Talksport's Welsh football reporter Lawrence Mora to tell us why Cardiff haven't been able to recapture the form of last season when they made a terrific push under Mick McCarthy for the playoffs, but they won only 2 of their last 8 games and finished 8th.
What has gone wrong for Cardiff this season? Well, Mick McCarthy started with a squad of experienced Championship warriors, but he wasn't able to add pace or proven quality to the likes of Sean Morrison, Joe Rules and Kiefer Moore. Loanees like Harry Wilson and Shea Oje weren't replaced, and it all left the Bluebirds one-dimensional and 1 pace.
Flip through towards Patterson, clips it over the goalkeeper, it's 3. Headed in at the far post by Jake Bidwell. And Swansea City lead Cardiff by 3 goals to 0.
Big Mick was sacked, with fans calling for a more progressive approach. So, up stepped 23's coach Steve Morrison, the ex-Millwall striker. He had a brief to keep Cardiff up in the Championship, but to change from the direct long ball style football from under Warnock, Harris and then McCarthy. Well, the January transfer window is where Morrison's revolution seems to have turned the corner, as Cardiff made the most of the loan market. Talented central midfielder Tommy Doyle arrived from Manchester City, Cody Drammer from Leeds and Alfie Doughty from Stoke. They added quality and pace.
And it was Isaac Davis on the move, the first to react, controlled it on the 6-yard box and passed it into the empty net. Cardiff, wow, I don't think anybody saw this coming before the game, but they lead Nottingham Forest by 2 goals to 0.
Waters and Winter were brought back from their loans and have gone straight into the starting 11, while bruising and bustling forwards Hugo and Ikpeazu have also arrived on loan to fill the Kiefer Moore-sized hole as the Wales international striker departed for Bournemouth. So, what a busy month for Cardiff. But that starting 11 that beat Forest were 6 players who weren't at the club at the start of January. That new-look side then backed up the result with a crucial win at Barnsley 3 days later. And of course, Cardiff remarkably hold the overall head-to-head record against Liverpool. OK, ignore the fact that their last win against the Red Men was in 1959. Cling on to the 18 wins to 14 record for the Bluebirds. And with no Mane and no Salah for Liverpool, no problem for Cardiff. Good luck to the Bluebirds.
Well, there you go. Cardiff not having the greatest of seasons. It's been turmoil for a couple of seasons, really, and that run from Mick McCarthy's Cardiff last season ended in failure to reach the top 6, despite the fact it was a decent run. And they find themselves where they are, with players injured, top players having left, and with a scratch side, really, to try to give Liverpool a game. But Mickey Gray, on the balance of probabilities, you've got to say a home win looks likely here, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. I think Jurgen Klopp's side is very strong, although they've obviously got players at the Africa Cup of Nations. But the 11 that are in front of us now, they're top quality players. It's going to be a difficult afternoon for Cardiff. I think we all agree on that. They've just got to play caution to the wind a little bit at the beginning of the game, Adrian. Don't be out of this tie at half-time. I think that's what the manager, Steve Morrison's got to say to his players.
Well, as you can hear, they're playing that song, and off we go. The flags are flying, the teams are out. It's the Reds against the Blues, and we already know what's been set up in the 5th round. The draw was made about 15 minutes ago. The winners of this one will get a home tie in that FA Cup 5th round against Norwich City, winners at Wolves yesterday. So let's get to commentary. It's Liverpool hoping not to be the big shock of 4th round weekend at home to Cardiff City. Calling the shots on Talksport, a man who was an attacking, marauding fullback before the role even existed, Mickey Gray, and he's alongside your commentator on Talksport, Nigel Adley.
Thank you, Adrian. Good morning once again. Liverpool's FA Cup record under Jurgen Klopp is pretty average, but they do seem equipped to challenge this year. Cardiff appear to have eyes on Championship survival, and the number of young players will have to learn very fast today. A reminder of the Liverpool team, and they have really changed things up from the match here against Shrewsbury in the previous round. Only 3 players remain from that game. The side today is Kelleher in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Konate, Van Dijk and Tsimikas the back 4, Henderson, Keita and Jones in midfield, Minamino, Jota and Firmino in attack, and Luis Diaz, their new signing from Porto, is on the bench alongside Harvey Elliott, who of course is coming back from that long-term injury suffered at Leeds at the start of the season. As for Cardiff City, great support in the Anfield Road end away to our right-hand side, but it is a team with 4 academy graduates in it and 8 changes from the side which won 1-0 against Barnsley in the Championship. A number of players are cup-tied, but it is a big day for Eli King and Oliver Denham, both 19 years of age, both making their full debuts today, and the number of players players have stepped up from the shadows as well to start this match. It is Phillips in goal, a back three of Ng, McGuinness and Flint. Denham and Bagan are the wing-backs, Vauxhall, King and Pack in midfield, Harris and Collins in attack. Mickey Gray, you really have to believe in the magic of the FA Cup to think Cardiff will win here.
Well, you certainly do, Nigel, yeah, but it's a special occasion for these players, something that they'll never forget for the rest of their careers. You know, the young players who are making their debuts today, fantastic. And look at that support that Cardiff have brought to Anfield today. This is what makes the FA Cup special. The atmosphere in this stadium is always electric, but it's going to be absolutely sensational today.
And before kick-off, there will be a tribute here at Anfield. Peter Robinson, who was such a key figure in the boardroom off the field during Liverpool's rise in the 1960s and 70s, passed away recently. Peter Robinson, without any doubt, a legend off the field at Anfield. So many great players were signed alongside Robinson and great managers here at Anfield. And the current generation looking to reach the fifth round of the FA Cup for only the second time under Jurgen Klopp. It's a competition they have really underwhelmed in recent years, as both sets of players take the knee before kick-off to highlight the ongoing drive for diversity and inclusivity. And it's Cardiff City who get the game underway here in the FA Cup. Two former winners on show here today. Cardiff in all blue, Liverpool in all red, and it's the Championship side attacking the Kop end away to our right in the first half. And it's great to see an FA Cup tie, Mickey, and a full house.
No, it's superb. It just stokes up the atmosphere. I want to see this more. You want to see it on a regular basis where, you know, away supporters who come to stadiums like this, and the atmosphere is just going to be soaked around every single part of this stadium, which is very special. Lively start to the game as well, both sides. I'm not too sure the way Cardiff have set up there, Nigel, as well. It looks like Ng is playing as a right wing-back, and I thought he might have played as one of the centre-halves.
Well, they look to break forward now. A long ball, but Van Dijk steps in ahead of Harris and guides it back to Kelleher. He clears downfield right-footed up to the halfway line. The ball swirling around in the strong wind here at Anfield. It's been a day of heavy rain and very strong winds before kick-off. The sun trying to break through the heavy slate grey clouds overhead as Simicas on this near side is quickly closed down by Ng, and Ng's done well to win it back, and Cardiff City almost had a break down the right-hand side, but the challenge quickly comes in and Liverpool will clear. And Van Dijk was looking, I think, for Kelleher to take care of the situation, but the goalkeeper stayed where he was, and it's eventually played out to Alexander-Arnold on the far side.
They got a little bit fortunate there. Jordan Henderson just trying to play a simple little 2-3 yard pass to Virgil van Dijk. He had to stretch out his left foot just to get any contact on it whatsoever. It's not often you see Virgil van Dijk panic a little bit, but he had to in that moment. What Cardiff have done in the early stages of this game, they've made this game physical. And I think they've got to try and do that. They've got to try and upset the flow and football that Liverpool love to play. Cardiff can get themselves an opportunity early doors in this game, get in that final third. Make sure when you do get there, the quality is there for your forward players to get that opportunity on this Liverpool goal.
Dylan Phillips clears downfield, and now Marlon Pack for Cardiff in the centre circle. Back towards McGuinness, one of 4 academy graduates starting the game here for Cardiff City today. There was a time, particularly under Neil Warnock, where young players rarely got an opportunity at Cardiff, but that's really changing now as a long break is made into the penalty area on this near side. And Cardiff had the opportunity to play in the cross, and it was whipped in towards the near post by Ng, who was eventually claimed by Kelleher.
Yeah, really good play. You could see the run from Perry NG over on this right-hand side. He was just looking to try and get in behind Simicast. Great run. I thought he missed his opportunity.
Now Pack charging forward for Cardiff, and he goes for goal, but he never really got hold of it. And a bobbly shot is gathered by Callagher going down to his right-hand side. But 3 minutes played, 0-0, and Cardiff have come out with some intent here.
He certainly have. Marlon Pack there winning the ball back for his side. I think he just got a little bit too eager there. He saw the lights, didn't he? And he just basically took a shot on that wasn't on. He was probably too far out, but why not? It's very early stages on in the game. You know, the players are still trying to find their feet. Didn't really threaten that Liverpool goal, but I love the intensity of Cardiff so far on the front foot.
Simicast on this near side. Talksport in the FA Cup here at Anfield. Nearly 4 minutes played. Liverpool 0, Cardiff 0. We already know the winners will be at home to Norwich in the 5th round as Keita plays it into the penalty area. Lovely turn from Jota. Jota's shot. Excellent save though by Phillips. Had to make himself big and got enough behind it.
What a save. What a save there from Dylan Phillips. Absolutely outstanding. Good play from Liverpool on the right-hand side. Played it into that 18-yard area. Great skill from Jota. And when he just took his left foot back, I was just waiting for the goal to find the ball to find its way into the back of the net. But what an outstanding save there from Phillips.
Now Curtis Jones for Liverpool, attacking down the left-hand side. Has support from Jota once again. But Cardiff force him towards the touchline. 8,000 Cardiff fans filling both tiers of that stand behind the goal, as Harris and Collins just slip and slide as they try and close down Henderson close to the halfway line. Now Alexander-Arnold, and the shirts of players all over the field being ruffled by the strong wind as Jones chases once again on this near side, and he was challenged by Denham. And he runs the ball behind Alexander-Arnold, and it will be a goal kick for Cardiff City with 5 minutes played, and it's still goalless.
A little bit of respite for Cardiff at the moment. Liverpool were just starting to get themselves into top gear there, getting themselves on top in the game, but that one opportunity there started with Trent Alexander-Arnold over on the right-hand side. A little give and go, found its way into Jota. A little flick through the inside of his legs. Super strike, but again, Dylan Phillips just diving down to his left-hand side there, very sharp to get low as well. Absolutely superb save in front of his Cardiff supporters.
Don't forget, the FA Cup football continues following this game on Talksport. Hugh Wozencroft will be live from the City Ground at East Midlands derby between Nottingham Forest and Leicester. And Darren Bent's boot room will have details of the final FA Cup 4th round tie on the south coast between Bournemouth and Boreham Wood. If you missed the draw, which was made before kick-off here, a couple of the standout ties. Chelsea are away to Luton. Manchester City will travel to Peterborough, and the holders Leicester, if they get through against Forest later on live on Talksport, they will be at home to Huddersfield. Liverpool looking to build once again with Simicast, but the high ball forward is some way beyond Jota. And it's gathered by Phillips, who has been the backup goalkeeper at Cardiff for some time now. Played the first 10 games of the season, but he was left out during an 8-game winless streak, which led to the departure of Mick McCarthy in the autumn, as Van Dijk is challenged by Collins in the air. And I think Collins wasn't too happy at the way Van Dijk crumpled to the turf. Nothing was given by Andy Madley, the referee, but in the end, both players exchanged pleasantries, but maybe through gritted teeth.
Well, I don't think there was any intention in it, and James Collins has just been trying to be physical along with Virgil van Dijk. You know, you can actually touch these centre-halves, these superstar centre-halves, but as he went to ground there, Van Dijk, Collins just basically shoved his arm down and just tried to pick him up just to apologise. There was contact, and Van Dijk just waved his arm away as if to say, don't do that again.
Now Henderson inside the centre circle. 7 minutes played. 0-0 here at a grey, chilly Anfield. And Liverpool beginning to take a grip on possession in midfield. Here is Henderson once again. The ball just evading Jones, but it's gathered by Simicast down the left. Simicast back in field towards Jones, and now Jones receives it from Naby Keita on the edge of the penalty area. Back to Henderson, and now Alexander-Arnold. Keita with a short ball looking for Minamino, but it's quickly cleared away on the far side by Bagan, but a high ball played back into the penalty area, looking for Tsimikas on this near side. The clearance from NG. And Cardiff City here are dropping ever deeper as they look to defend the edge of their own penalty area. Henderson once again. Back to Konate. Henderson spreads it wide towards the right-hand side. And there is space here for Tsimikas to cross into the penalty area. Headed away by Flint. Now back to the Liverpool left once again. And Van Dijk, who picks out Tsimikas. And we have gone about 3 minutes here, and Cardiff have barely had a kick. Firmino finding Henderson once again. Low towards the edge of the penalty area, and Jota. Cardiff looking to make challenges, but they can't get near the ball. Here is Jones finding Tsimikas to cross into the penalty area. Minamino challenges for the ball. The flag is now raised. The shot is fired into the back of the net by Minamino, but the offside flag was raised some time before, and the goal won't count.
Yeah, you can just see that Cardiff now are just starting to drop deeper and deeper into their own 18-yard area. A lot of possession for Liverpool. Top quality players will always find gaps. However deep you go, you've just got to match them for that intensity. Wherever your man goes, you've got to follow him around. Try not give him that space to get his head up there. The flag went up very early in that move, I have to say. You know, you see a couple of the Cardiff centre-halves, I think they basically stopped before Minamino stuck that ball in the back of the net. But, oh, come here, give yourself an opportunity. Get in the faces of these Liverpool players. Don't give them the time and space on the ball that they want. And if you do that, they'll start to panic a little bit, and that's when they start to give the ball away and give yourself an opportunity.
12 minutes played, Liverpool 0, Cardiff 0. You're listening to live coverage of the FA Cup on Talksport, thanks to Neutrogena Teeth Gel Therapeutic Shampoo. As Jones brings it forward again on this near side, wide towards Tsimikas, looking to attack NG, but NG, the former Crew player, stuck with him, jabs out the leg and sends the ball behind for a corner.
Yeah, good defending there from NG. Stood his ground, 1v1 situation as a defender. Got to try and stop the cross as a wing-back or a full-back, and he's certainly done his job there.
Tsimikas will take the corner kick. It will be an outswinger on this near side, deep into the 6-yard area. It's headed away as far as Van Dijk, who fires in the shot, but he was quickly closed down by Flint, and Flint then turns around to the rest of his team and says, get out. Let's stop inviting so much pressure. Here is Henderson, though, wide towards the far side of Minamino. Henderson with a cross into the penalty area, and stooping to head the ball away at the near post was McGuinness, and it's a throw into Liverpool on the far side.
Constant pressure from Liverpool now. This system that Cardiff are playing is now a flat back five. They just cannot get out of their own half. Flint just trying to wave his players out of their own 18-yard area. If they don't do that, they're just going to keep dropping deeper and deeper. And pretty much be very, very close to Phillips in that Cardiff goal. But at a point in this game, they have to try and take the game to Liverpool.
Alexander-Arnold with a cross into the area, volleyed away at the far post by NG, but it will come straight back. Here is Jones once again, wide towards Tsimikas, who will try and take on Denham. Low ball into the penalty area. Marlon Pack was there defending, and he's done well to just run the ball off Tsimikas, and it will bobble behind for a goal kick. Don't forget, over on Talksport 2, coverage about to get underway of a big game in the WSL. Chelsea against Manchester City. Arsenal drawing yesterday with Manchester United, so both of these sides can look to make ground on the top team, and Joe Shannon and Claire Rafferty will have commentary. The game gets underway at 12:30. If you download the TalkSport app, you can go to the live game section and swipe between the commentary there and the commentary here. Nearly 12 minutes played, and the clearance from Phillips once again gets held up in the wind, and it's headed back by Konate towards the Cardiff half as the weak, watery sunshine breaks through here over Anfield, and Cardiff have a throw-in on this near side. 38 places between these two sides, second in the Premier League against 20th in the Championship, although Cardiff have won their two most recent games against Forest and Barnsley after only 2 points in 6 games before that. Goal scoring has been a real issue for them, and of course they've just sold their top goal scorer Kiefer Moore to Bournemouth, but Jordan Hugel has been brought in as a potential long-term replacement, but he is on the bench here today. And the number of regular first teamers for Cardiff are just biding their time downstairs with youngsters on the field at the start of play. Alexander-Arnold back towards Konate for Liverpool on the halfway line, and at the moment we are looking almost exclusively away to our left-hand side the end which Cardiff City are defending. Such has been the constant pressure. High ball lifted into the penalty area by Alexander-Arnold. It was over the head of Jota, and it almost fell for Curtis Jones, but in the end it gathered pace as it bounced off the turf and goes behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, and I'm loving the attitude of the Liverpool players, the way they've approached this football match. They're trying to get the job done as early as they possibly can. They've obviously had that great opportunity from Jota early on in the game, but the possession that they've had in this football match so far, it's basically attack v defence, because every time Cardiff get the ball, they're trying to get out their own half. And I said sometimes you have to go long. You can't play out at times when you're playing against the quality that they've got in front of them right now. Be direct, try and get Harris and Collins involved in the game as much as you possibly can, and then it's up to your forward players to hold on to the ball when you get that chance. Midfield runners helping out and backing them up, but at the minute they can't get anywhere near the football because Liverpool are just keeping hold of the ball.
Naby Keita coming forward now on the far side into Firmino. Alexander-Arnold looks to slide the ball forward once again, but Will Vauxhall comes in with a decent challenge just to divert the ball back towards Dylan Phillips. And there is a moment of respite here for Cardiff City, and the two managers on the edge of their technical area. Steve Morrison, of course, a relatively recent appointment for Cardiff City following the departure of Mick McCarthy, and there was a determination to try and change the style of play which had developed under managers such as Neil Warnock and Neil Harris, and also McCarthy as Van Dijk of age James Collins this time, and with the sort of defending which will really dispirit forwards as Liverpool look to come forward now with Firmino down the right. Minamino in support. The high cross again is swirled into the penalty area, but it swirls straight into those Cardiff fans behind the goal.
Well, until the final ball then, Nigel, it's great play from Liverpool, but I do question these Cardiff midfield players and the forward guys when they're closing down Virgil van Dijk and Jordan Henderson in that midfield area. You know, they're going half-heartedly, if you like. You know, they're worried about somebody doing a great bit of a skill and just running away from them. You've got to go 100%. You've got to go and try and close them down, show them that bit of physicality, win the ball in the opposition's half and give yourself a chance of winning the ball, start to play a little bit of football yourself, earn the right to be a part of this football game.
15 minutes played, 0-0, as Aidan Flint rises to head the ball away above Diego Jota. Bit of a mismatch that in terms of height, and now it's clipped forward over the top by King, but there is a Liverpool player down. Liverpool, I think, want play to stop. It's back with Kelleher, their goalkeeper, and now Andy Madley will stop play, and there will be an opportunity for some treatment.
Yeah, it was a strong challenge. Didn't really see too much in it. There was no nastiness about it. 50-50. But obviously you don't want to be seeing any players on the ground for longer than, 30 seconds to a minute. Looks as if we have got a little bit of a problem here, but it wouldn't surprise me that they're okay. And I'm just watching there now as well, Nigel. All the Cardiff players have gone across to Steve Morrison, and I'm just wondering if he's going to pass on that little bit of information to his players to just say, look, calm down. You know that Liverpool are going to have a lot of possession in this game, but when we do get the opportunity to try and get the ball forward, let's get our forward players involved in the game a little bit more. You've got to try and commit players at times in games, but so far it's been attack v defence. Liverpool have had so much possession. It's so easy for them to work it right-hand side to the left-hand side, put balls into the area. You've got to stamp your authority on this game.
It was Harris who challenged Henderson, the tackle which led to treatment for the Liverpool captain, but he's back on the field of play now. There was no real malice in it, but he did catch him, and it was a painful blow on a very cold day like today as Van Dijk brings it forward for Liverpool. Nearly 17 minutes played. Goalless here at Anfield, but Dylan Phillips has been by far the busier goalkeeper so far. Now Van Dijk once again. Cardiff are playing two strikers, Collins and Harris, but yet again there is no real attempt from them to press because they know there is very little behind them.
Yeah, and it's a big problem is because, well, the manager's obviously told them to get everybody behind the ball. Liverpool have been professional, they've been excellent with the ball, still waiting for that real clear-cut opportunity, but you just keep dropping deeper and deeper and deeper from the Cardiff players, and when you do win the ball back, you haven't got an outlet. You cannot get out of your own half because you've got nobody in the opposition's half.
Now Now Van Dijk, wide to this near side, and Tsimikas once again. He was quickly closed down by NG, so it's back to the captain, and now Cardiff have won the ball. Volks wide to this near side, and NG, but NG under pressure has to find Denham, the player making his full debut, and Phillips clears downfield up towards the halfway line, and just for a moment there Bagan looked to be in behind Alexander-Arnold, but the Liverpool player recovered well to leap up and head it out to play for a throw-in.
And it's point in case, Nigel, isn't it? Will Volks winning the ball back for his side in the centre circle. He was absolutely fantastic, works it onto his right foot, and he's looking for forward runners. He has to go back to his full-back and his wing-back. They end up going back to the goalkeeper, working it out to the left-hand side. There's no outlet for them, and you cannot soak up all that pressure for a 90-minute game of football and maybe extra time. If we get that far, it doesn't really look like we're going to.
Harris turning in field beyond Konate, now inside the penalty area, going down, and Andy Madley very quickly waves away the appeals. We do have VAR involved today, Darren England, and I wonder if that will be revisited, because Harris was the wrong side of Konate, and it was a very untidy challenge inside the area. Well, play is back underway straight away.
Well, that's the opportunity that these Cardiff players are waiting for. They work it into the 18-yard area. Konate is the wrong side of Harris, and there's contact with him. I don't know if he's still talking to him in his ear, Andy Madley, but there's a big shout for a penalty there.
Well, Liverpool were very quick to get the game underway once again, but now there is a break once again, and it's Harris all on his own on this near side, the right for Cardiff. Low ball back into the penalty area, and three Cardiff City players all watched the ball scoot across the box, and none of them could get the final touch.
Super play. I mean, it looked as if there was a question mark whether he's offside there, Harris, but he kept his run going. He got to the byline. And James Collins, I don't know if he saw the ball late. There's three Cardiff players, but Collins, it looked as if he just needed to stretch out a left foot. Any contact with that, he's got an opportunity on that Liverpool goal from, 7 or 8 yards out. Great chance for Cardiff City.
20 minutes played, 0-0, but Cardiff suddenly in the game. But here it's Keita at the other end. Bagan with the challenge, and it will be a corner kick. And now, as the play stops, the Cardiff players surround the referee, talking about that penalty claim at the other end.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason why they shouldn't. And I'm just wondering whether Andy Madley has had that word in his ear to say, no, there was contact, but not enough. But the last 2 or 3 minutes from Cardiff, we've certainly got a cup tie in our hands now. They've certainly grown into this game, and it's fantastic to see.
Corner kick, though, for Liverpool on the far side. Alexander-Arnold will take it, and it's a high delivery towards Firmino. Denham, though, does well to head the ball outside the penalty area. Firmino, though, recovers wide towards Jones on this near side. Jones is quickly closed down by Denham, but here is Firmino all the way back towards Keita, who is the last man for Liverpool. And the pattern of play with Liverpool knocking on the door against a very deep Cardiff back 11 now continues. Here is Tsimikas once again, square towards Henderson. Andy Madley, the referee, almost got in the way, but it's wide towards Minamino. Low cross into the penalty area, cleared away at the near post. A spotted pinball inside the area before it's eventually cleared away once again. A high, deeper ball in this time is met by McGuinness, and then Flint almost falls to Van Dijk, who was still forward, and eventually Denham guides the ball behind for a corner.
Well, because the Cardiff players didn't get out of their own 18-yard area, it gives the opportunity for Konate and Van Dijk just to basically stay in the 18-yard box. There's no pressure on Trent Alexander or Minamino when they're putting those balls into the area. You've got to get in these Liverpool players' faces.
Tsimikas with an out-swinging corner once again, right outside the penalty area, headed back in by Keita, and then Cardiff will eventually clear. 22 minutes played here on Talksport at Anfield, 0-0 between Cardiff travelling to Liverpool. We have another match between the Championship and the Premier League coming up at 4 o'clock on Talksport. Jim Proudfoot and Trevor Sinclair will guide you through Forest against the holders Leicester. And we will have news and updates from Bournemouth against Boreham Wood during Darren Bent's boot room later on, as Flint has to head the ball away at the near post for Cardiff, and the ball almost got caught in the wind there as it spun away on the far side and eventually behind for another Liverpool corner at the midpoint of the first half.
And they're going to have sore heads tomorrow morning, these three centre-halves, McGuinness, Flint and Denham, for Cardiff City, because that ball just keeps coming into the area every single time they get half a yard, these Liverpool players. putting that quality into that 6-yard box.
Or would they rather be attacking the ball in the air than having to deal with runs on the ground? Alexander-Arnold with another corner deep into the 6-yard area, met by Collins, and then a missed kick by King, but he's done well to at least get the ball partially away. Here is Tsimikas for Liverpool, spread wide towards Curtis Jones. Now Firmino, very tricky running from him to find Jones deep inside the penalty area, cleared away at the near post, appeals for handball as it was blocked by a Cardiff player, possibly with the shoulder. Nothing is given. Now Cardiff will try and break themselves. King lofting a ball wide to the far side of Volks. Bagan will try and get forward on the overlap. Volks, though, comes in field. Let's fly! And it wasn't too far wide. It was always swinging away from goal, but Kelleher flew away to his left-hand side to ensure it was covered.
Well, when they get the opportunity to break Cardiff,
they're looking for a penalty at the other end, I think.
Yeah, they are.
There was just a pause there. Andy Madley had the finger to his ear and now says play on.
Yeah, as that cross came into the area there, I'm not too sure which of the centre-halves it was, Nigel, but just kind of leaned into it towards him, and I don't know if it's just come off the top of his shoulder, but they've gotten away with one there, Cardiff, so I suppose that's 1-1 because they had a big shout for a penalty themselves. But when they broke through Volks, great opportunity, found himself a lot of space over on that left-hand side because Trent Alexander had broke forward. That's an area that they have to look at to try and get in behind these fullbacks, because when they do, on the couple of occasions they've done that, they look a real threat, Cardiff.
24 minutes played on Talksport in the FA Cup. 0-0 here at Anfield, but here is Keita coming forward again, slipped into the penalty area looking for Tsimikas, but it's cleared away by Unji. All the way into the Liverpool half, and Craven Kelleher was the only Liverpool player there, so he's got time, 45 yards from goal, to gather and quickly play it forward. And the reason Cardiff can break, they've not got lightning pace, but there is so much room in behind.
Yeah, because the fullbacks are committing themselves at Liverpool. Tsimikas over on this left-hand side and Trent Alexander-Arnold on the other. They're basically playing as right and left wingers.
Now Keita with a break into the penalty area on the Liverpool right. But once again, it's a good challenge from Aidan Flint. And Liverpool have a throw-in taken quickly on the far side. Minamino and Alexander-Arnold shuttle passes between them. And here is Van Dijk inside the centre circle. Jones in the sunshine once again on this near side. Finding Tsimikas with Andy Robertson on the bench today for Liverpool. Now Van Dijk once again. Henderson. Cardiff City once again retreating as a unit deep inside their own penalty area as a high angle cross in is fisted away by a flying Dylan Phillips as Firmino looked to close in at the far post. But Liverpool quickly have it back. Keita with a shot, but he never got hold of it. It bounced about 4 times before going behind for a goal kick.
Well, I remember coming to a game here very early on in the season and I saw Naby Keita score, and I think it was a left-footed volley from about 20 yards out, but this was about 25 yards on his right foot. Yes, he had space in front of him, but I don't think he's known for worldy goals like that. He had options in front of him, and I just thought he chose the wrong one in that occasion.
And the Cardiff fans in great voice away to our left-hand side as a long ball is played forward for them on this near side, and it will bobble out of play, and it will be a throw-in for Liverpool. You're listening to live coverage of the FA Cup on Talksport thanks to Neutrogena T-Gel Therapeutic Shampoo. As Keita finds Alexander-Arnold on the far side, and at the moment Liverpool are dominating the ball, but they're finding it very hard to get in behind, and that's credit to the way Cardiff have been organised.
Yeah, I mean, we can criticise them as a forward side, Cardiff, and waiting for
teams
that
much better than Cardiff come here and never have a kick in the Liverpool half, don't they?
Absolutely, Nigel. Yeah, a lot of possession. Liverpool always have that, but at the end of the day, it's down to them to break this Cardiff back line down as quick as they possibly can, and at the moment they're standing very strong.
But Liverpool do have a free kick here. A challenge on Firmino about 25 yards out in a central area, and Liverpool will have players queuing up to take this. I think he was caught by King, the youngster, who just finding it difficult now and again in midfield to avoid the game passing him by, but he's not alone in that.
If you're Trent Alexander-Arnold, what we're talking about 24, 25 yards out here, this is the perfect scenario for him with that right foot and the quality that he's got from set pieces. He's able to get a lot of pace on that free kick. He's able to dip it over the top of the wall and get it back down. So this is a big problem for Dylan Phillips in that Cardiff goal.
Alexander-Arnold and Tsimikas are over it, but surely the England man will take it. Alexander-Arnold does curl it, and the wall does its job. It was Collins who leapt to block it. I think it hit him full in the face. He's gone down clutching his face, and play will be halted for the head injury.
Yeah, and rightly so as well. Fantastic play there from James Collins. You want your man in the wall, you want him to stand strong, you want him to be brave, you don't want him ducking out of the way. Trent Alexander did get that pace and whip on that free kick, just not high enough to get it over the top of that Cardiff City wall. But so far so good. You know, you can talk about as much possession as you want from Liverpool, but the score still stands at 0-0, Nige.
Over on Talksport 2, WSL commentary about to get underway. Chelsea against Manchester City with Joe Shannon and Claire Rafferty. And on Tuesday night, Adrian will be around the grounds, first on Talksport 2, and then Talksport will join at 7 o'clock. Busy night in the Premier League and the EFL. Fulham against Millwall will be the commentary on the home of the EFL, Talksport 2, as Liverpool look to come forward again here. Another deep cross into the penalty area, but it's overhit and it's gone behind for a goal kick. And on Wednesday night, Sheffield United against West Brom will be another championship commentary on Talksport 2 with Adrian around the grounds on kick-off on Talksport. And then next Friday on Talksport, a big game in the WSL, could be a title decider between Chelsea and Arsenal. That's on Talksport next Friday at 7:45. Half an hour played here. Liverpool 0, Cardiff 0. If you missed it earlier on, the FA Cup 5th round draw. Luton against Chelsea, Palace against Stoke, Peterborough against Manchester City, Liverpool or Cardiff will play Norwich, Southampton against West Ham, Middlesbrough against Spurs, Forest or Leicester will play Huddersfield, and Everton will be at home to Bournemouth or Boreham Wood. And all those ties will be played in the midweek at the start of March. As Liverpool try and come forward again now with Henderson on the edge of the penalty area, clips it towards Jones on the left-hand side. Slightly miscontrols inside the area, back to Tsimikas. The crossing again has been met by the head of McGuinness, and then it's volleyed over the top by Keita into those very happy Cardiff fans.
Yeah, well, they'll be happy with that. Naby Keita keeps taking those strikes on from the edge of the 18-yard area and even further out, because he certainly hasn't got his shooting boots on so far. But great play again. I mean, the balls that Liverpool put into the area, it's just an onslaught. The quality from Trent Alexander-Arnold, Jordan Henderson put some lovely balls into the area, and they've got so many willing runners, but at the end of the day, they still have to break Cardiff down, and they've not been able to do that. I said about the centre-halves having sore heads tomorrow. Well, they won't mind that if the score stays the way it is, Nigel. I mean, they've had a lot of possession, as we talked about. It was 81% Liverpool have had so far in this game in the first 30 minutes.
Only 81%?
But they haven't scored a goal. It's 0-0, and that's what counts.
And, of course, we must have a winner here today with extra time and penalties if required. Of course, Manchester United were taken to penalties and lost. Chelsea went to extra time and won against lower league opposition already in this round. And now Cardiff have a long throw opportunity on this near side. Will Vaux will take it. He's using a towel on this near side to very carefully dry the ball, and Aidan Flint is one of the players rumbling forward for this, and this could be Cardiff's best route towards a goal in this game. Vaux with a good delivery, launched it towards the edge of the 6-yard area, headed away though by Van Dijk, knocked back towards the edge of the box, but now Liverpool will try and break. Minamino wide to the far side, Alexander-Arnold just running out of room as he strained to keep it in play, and Cardiff will have a throw-in on the far side.
Well, it's definitely the asset from Will Vaux with that long throw. I can't kick it that far these days, but that's the first time I've been to an away side. I've seen towels put around the ground. I can see one on the far side from where we're sat as well. So it's obviously something that they want to use. You normally see it from a home team. They have towels around the side of the pitch, but not an away side. It's a new one for me.
Now Minamino spins away from a challenge. He was caught as well, I think, by Denham, but nothing given because Liverpool still have possession. In bright sunshine now on this near side. The shadow cast by the Sir Kenny Dalglish stand about halfway across the field. Tsimikas has it on the far side, on the near side rather, for Liverpool. Now Jota in towards Curtis Jones. And once again, Cardiff are happy to retreat and say breakers down. And on this occasion they don't, because the ball in field doesn't find Jota, but Packers giving it straight back to Konate. Konate in turn gave the ball away. Vaux clipped it in behind looking for Collins, but he stayed where he was. And Liverpool got away with one then.
Just getting a little bit scrappy, isn't it? The sun's came out. I don't know if it's in the players' eyes, but it's got a little bit scrappy over the last couple of minutes from both teams.
Now Naby Keita lays the ball around the corner for Jota, but once again, one pass too many for Liverpool, and Cardiff are able to hammer the ball away, and it's gathered by Steve Morrison, the Cardiff manager, inside the technical area. Cardiff haven't beaten Premier League opposition as a championship side in the FA Cup since 2008, when they went all the way to the final. It's Minamino finds Jota inside the penalty area, back towards Minamino. The ball doesn't find Jota, but it's pulled back to Curtis Jones, and 8 yards out he lofts the ball high over the top.
Oh, what an opportunity for Curtis Jones there. I mean, he's got so much time just to keep it low and just slot it into the bottom corner. Great play from Jota and Minamino, little give and go. Looked like Jota was going to get the opportunity just to slot it in. It looked like it went through the middle of his legs and fell to Jones. He had nobody around him. Could have actually taken a touch. And I'm not giving him the benefit of the doubt here, because the wind is swirling around, but he has to do better in that situation. Just keep it low and make the goalkeeper have to make a save. But what a let-off for Cardiff.
Curtis Jones really announced himself in the FA Cup with that spectacular winner against Everton a couple of years ago, as Collins looks to fasten onto a long ball forward for Cardiff, but he sees Kelleher swooping on the ball on the edge of the penalty area. But Cardiff now will be thinking about getting to half-time. 35 minutes played on Talksport, 0-0. And at times they've shown the odd flash of ambition, but in the main, it has all been about containing. Now Tsimikas on this near side, but they've been much more comfortable in the Championship away from home so far this season. 19 of their 29 points have come on the road. It's only 3 wins, 9 defeats, 11 goals in 13 home games at the Cardiff City Stadium. Here is Jones now for Liverpool on this near side. Tsimikas with the cross into the near post, and it's a glancing header from Firmino, but it was always rising over the angle.
Difficult one that for Firmino. I thought he saw that late. Looked as if Flint was just in front of him and just distracted him. Didn't see the ball till late. He had to glance it towards that Liverpool goal. Lovely ball in again from Tsimikas over on this left-hand side. Got a lot of whip and curl on it. But again, how easy they're getting into those positions on the left and right-hand side of Liverpool. I mean, I don't know how many crosses they've put into that Cardiff area so far in the game, Nigel, but it is a lot. And the pressure starts to build and build and build on the back line. And there's a point in the game where one of your players just switches off, and that's what Liverpool are waiting for.
But are they more preoccupied in not stopping the cross but dealing with it?
Well, they are. That's exactly what they have done. Yeah, managers will normally tell you as a fullback or a wing-back, as we've got today in this Cardiff team, is stop the cross. But at the minute, the 3 centre-halves are the ones who are finding themselves in very good positions. You see how close they are at this moment. You know, there's 2 or 3 yards between the 3 centre-halves. But so far they've been resilient. They've won every single header that's gone into that area, and the opportunities that Liverpool have had have been half chances.
Now Jones on this near side, finding Henderson for Liverpool. And we have 8 minutes to play in the first half here on Talksport, and it's still goalless. Henderson into the shadows on the far side, and Alexander-Arnold back towards Henderson again. Cardiff City have everybody back behind the ball, within 40 yards of their own goal, but Minamino choosing to try and pick his way through them. He now finds Jones, who swings in a right-footed shot from the edge of the penalty area, but once again he was closed down in the act of shooting, and it's some way over.
Well, they're just waiting for their moment, Cardiff. I think, you know, it's obviously great play from Liverpool. Minamino running across the football pitch there, and he got worked it to the left-hand side. Curtis Jones eventually getting onto his right foot, but again, you know, he's what, 22, 23 yards out. And that's where Liverpool's strikes seem to be coming from at the moment. And that's when Cardiff just spring into life. They closed down very well. They're waiting for that opportunity, for that just that little bit of a mistake from Liverpool. But again, it's when they do win the ball. On a few occasions, they have broke out. They've looked a little bit of a threat. They've had some half chances themselves. That great opportunity for Collins there, which I thought he should have done better with. He should have certainly made contact with it. And maybe that's what they're waiting for. But at the minute, I think Jurgen Klopp's probably the more frustrated that his side have not been able to break Cardiff down.
A back pass from Van Dijk. Harris will close down Kelleher, who finds Konate fairly comfortably. And we have 7 minutes to play in the first half here at Anfield on Talksport. Still 0-0. Here is Jones for Liverpool. Infield to Minamino, who turns away from Collins. He was caught by Collins, and it will be a free kick for Liverpool. Central, about 22 yards from goal.
Well, that's another great opportunity for Liverpool, and I'm sure Trent Alexander-Arnold will be stood over this one yet again. Can he get it over the top of that wall? Good play from Minamino. He looks lively, Minamino. He certainly does when he picks up that ball. He's looking to drive at that back line of Cardiff City. But again, you know, they're giving this free kick away here. Gives Liverpool another opportunity. And you don't want to be giving too many of these away to Trent Alexander-Arnold if he's the man who's going to take it yet again.
Alexander-Arnold is over the free kick once again. Tsimikas could hit this one with the left, but Alexander-Arnold is spotting this one up. And almost the entire Cardiff outfield team are in the wall. And there is plenty of height there. Alexander-Arnold, though, whips it over the wall, and in trying to bypass the height, he puts it way over the top once again.
Yeah, not his best free kick, I must admit, Trent Alexander-Arnold. What is interesting is what we see in the Premier League every single week is a player line behind the wall. Cardiff have not got that. Every single player in that wall we just had there before the free kick, they were all jumping up on their toes, trying to make themselves as tall as they possibly could. Maybe that put them off a little bit, but you expect better from Trent.
And we are in such a busy sporting weekend, and the sports breakfast tomorrow morning with Laura Woods, Ali McCoist and Jamie O'Hara will be looking back on the best of the action between 6 and 10, and Eddie Hearn, Jake Paul and Katie Taylor will all be live in the studio as well. So a heavyweight theme tomorrow morning from 6 with Laura and the team. 5 minutes to play in the first half here at Anfield, and it's still 0-0. And we say that because we looked at the teams before kick-off. We thought Liverpool would have far too much for Cardiff. Ultimately, that may be the case, but the Cardiff team, full of youngsters, have done well so far. Now Konate, wide to this near side, and Van Dijk. Tsimikas takes over. Jota is doing up his bootlaces, so Liverpool will have to try and play around him, and Henderson turns away to the right-hand side. Keita has got support from Alexander-Arnold. Now Henderson once again. Minamino wearing gloves comes into the play. Now Van Dijk, and Liverpool have an overload down the left-hand side should they choose to use it. And it's Jota into Firmino, and now Tsimikas again. Van Dijk wide towards Jones as the entire Cardiff team shuffle across to their left-hand side once again. And it's clipped over the top by Keita, looking for Jones, and Vaux again steps in to try and clear for Cardiff, and he's done well to keep the ball in play and force Konate to go all the way back to Kelleher, the Liverpool goalkeeper at the other end.
Well, Kelleher's playing basically like a sweeper keeper, isn't he? I mean, he's been outside of his 18-yard area for a long time. He must be very bored at the minute, trying to get involved in the game. But again, it's just constant pressure and possession from Liverpool, but still waiting for that bit of quality. They cannot get in behind this Cardiff back line.
Henderson wide on the far side, finding Jones. Alexander-Arnold. Oh, there's a mistake by Flint. He misses his kick, and he was helped out there by the youngster Denham coming around behind him, because it was a horrible moment for Flint, because he knew that Jota was in behind him.
Fortunate the centre half there. Flint just trying to clear his lines, got it completely wrong. Sticks his arm in the air to apologise. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, it was Jota who was on his front foot. He was waiting for the mistake and nearly pounced on it.
Now Firmino comes in field once again, back towards Konate. who has started only 7 times in the Premier League so far for Liverpool, a player clearly brought with the long term in mind. Now Henderson back towards Van Dijk, who is the last outfield player for Liverpool, 15 yards inside the Cardiff half, and Jota under pressure from Unji, but he's found Tsimikas, and Tsimikas has been played in by Jota. Now the cross into the penalty area. There is space and time with the far post for the volley from Minamino, but it was a cross in the end, all the way behind all of the Liverpool players who are waiting, and it's a throw-in on this near side. I think he was going for goal, and he got it horribly wrong.
Yeah, it looked like it needed to stay low. He's got too much height on it, certainly too much pace on it. He was actually quite fortunate it fell to Trent Alexander-Arnold in the end, who got his shot completely wrong. But again, it was super play down this left-hand side. You just question whether Liverpool need to start going centrally through the middle of the centre-halves, because they've had so many opportunities from the left and right-hand side to put the ball in the area, and the Cardiff centre-halves are up for the challenge. They've won everything when they've had to clear the lines. As I'm speaking, they're doing it yet again. They've got to come up with something different, Liverpool, a different answer. Maybe Jota, Firmino running through that the central area, and just ask the question of the centre-halves, keep the ball low for the next 2 or 3 minutes before we get to half-time, because if they don't, it looks like it is going to be 0-0, Nigel, at half-time.
And we're heading towards the final minute of the first half here. There will be some added time, but not too much of it. Alexander-Arnold on the far side, looking to release Minamino, but it's cut out by Bagan. And the youngster's done well to break over the halfway line. He then almost went in behind Alexander-Arnold, pushed the ball on one side of him, went round the other, and the ball just dribbled out of play in the end.
Yeah, good play from Bagan. Looks as if he's got a lot of pace. He's got that physical presence about him as well. He's got a nice left foot. Just ran out of space, didn't he? Needed to keep that ball in play.
But the young players like Bagan, King and Denham, they've all done well for Cardiff so far. And Harris up front, he's been around for slightly longer now, a full Welsh international, but he's offering a threat when he gets the ball. Now Jota almost found Keita on the edge of the area. Back towards Jota again. Henderson with the shot right-footed, and again it is so far off target.
Yeah, it's too far out. You know, it's got to be a fantastic strike. We've had a couple of strikes from Keita at the edge of the 18-yard area. We've had one from Jones, this time from Jordan Henderson. And that's a little bit of frustration, Nigel, because they cannot get in behind this Cardiff back line. So you start taking strikes on from 20, 25 yards out. It's got to be perfect and so precise. And they're frustrated. You can see, you can sense in the final third, these Liverpool players are frustrated, but it's down to the way that Cardiff City have defended. They've been absolutely top class.
And Mike Dean, the fourth official, on a day out from the Wirral Peninsula, tells us there will be 1 added minute at the end of the first half here. These are big moments for Cardiff to stand firm and get into the dressing room on level terms and have 15 minutes to regroup. We look at the Liverpool bench today, and in the main, in terms of attacking talent, we do have the new signing Luis Diaz, and I wonder how long it will be until we see him. Now Tsimikas, space for him down the left-hand side. Maybe one final chance here for Liverpool in the first half, but the ball in field from Jones was a poor one. It's hammered away, and that is half-time. And the Cardiff fans rise to acclaim their team. It has been 45 minutes of containment and dogged defence from the South Walians, but so far they have done the job, and Liverpool leave the field frustrated. Half-time, Liverpool 0, Cardiff City 0.
Yeah, those Cardiff City fans were loving that half-time whistle for all the domination. Both sides have had just the one shot on target each, and that says it all about Liverpool's finishing just as the half-time whistle was blowing. Chelsea were going 1-0 up against Manchester City in the WSL. 14 and a half minutes gone, and a lovely glancing headed Chelsea lead by a goal to 0. That's live on Talksport 2 right now. Just download the Talksport app for free if you wanted to listen to that, and swipe left for Talksport 2. 1-0 to Chelsea, and that big game, Nigel was telling you during commentary, Chelsea, Arsenal, WSL, possible title decider in the making there. That is live on Talksport on Friday night, 7 o'clock. You can join Hugh Wozencroft and Leanne Sanderson for Game Day Countdown. Part of that show will be that live commentary of the WSL game between Chelsea and Arsenal. Coming up later this afternoon on Talksport, Forest take on Leicester in the FA Cup. It's a 4 o'clock kickoff. We'll speak to Trevor Sinclair, who's at the City Ground after this game is done here, and well before kickoff, of course. And we've got loads more as well. Boreham Wood's game at Bournemouth, you'll keep in touch with that during Darren Bent's boot room after 6 o'clock on Talksport. But I've just been looking up the rules, Mickey Gray, and apparently you are allowed still in the 4th round of the FA Cup to give penalties. So I'm wondering if that message has got through to Andy Madley and the VAR team.
Yeah, well, that first one for Cardiff City, when Canate went through the back of, I think it was it Harris or Collins?
Yeah, Harris.
Yeah, you see them given. I think I've seen over the weekend's games, there's been contact in the 18-yard area, and if he's running in on goal, which he is, and Canate knows he's got the wrong side of his marker, he's gone through the back of him because he's got to stop him from pulling his right foot back and getting his strike away. So Andy Madley has had a quick look at that. Surely he's close enough to see that there's contact. What is it, because it's early on in the game and it's Cardiff City playing at Anfield? He's too frightened in front of the cop end to blow his whistle and give the penalty. I know Liverpool have had a shout themselves. Was it a handball? Was it not a handball? Well, you know, if you're refereeing the game and you're seeing what everybody else has seen in this stadium, that is very close to being a penalty. And I thought, from where we're watching the game right now, I thought it was a penalty.
Yeah, I thought it was a penalty as well. With the handball one, I think you got T-shirt lines, you know, that silly old thing.
Yeah.
Was it his shoulder? I think there's more doubt about that one, and I don't think that was clear cut. But with that foul, Canate on Harris, I could not believe that Andy Madley didn't give it. Now, I've had a look around. Some people have said that the ref got it right because the Cardiff player was looking for or inviting the contact, because it looks like he steps across Canate. But once he's in front of Canate and Canate's behind him, he can go where he wants, can't he?
Harris has got he's got the right side of him, should I say, in an attacking sense. And if you're in that position there, Adrian, you've got a chance of getting your shot away at goal. If there's contact behind you, it's there for a reason. Canate knew he'd messed up. He was the wrong side. He had to make contact. There was no way he was going to get anywhere near the ball. And Harris is not going to go to ground if he's got a chance to score in front of the cop end at Liverpool in a 4th round of an FA Cup tie. That's why you have to take all that into consideration. And Andy Madley has got to do exactly the same thing. And that is why the whistle should have went to his mouth.
Yeah. If he's got... Well, what's the point being made there is that he's got to run in... He's supposed to run in a straight line. Now, if he doesn't run in a straight line, if he wants to put his body in front of Canate to shield the ball, then he's got every right to do that. If in so doing, Canate doesn't hold back and makes that connection and there's a tangle of legs, that, to me, is a penalty. And I can't understand the justification for Andy Madley not giving it. I can't understand why VAR would have a look at it and still not give it. Now, people might think, well, we want a shock, because we've got it live on the radio. We want Cardiff to go in front, make a game. Not at all. What we want is justice. That, to me, is a clear penalty. I mean, a VAR having the day off. In terms of the rest of the game, it has been dominated by Liverpool. I think Cardiff have actually, when they've had a few moments, have looked quite threatening, but it's been dominated by Liverpool. But as I said before, just the one shot on target from Liverpool, despite 82% of the ball. That's appalling, really, from a top side.
Touches in the opposition's half, 264 from Liverpool, 15 from Cardiff.
Oh.
So it shows how much possession that Liverpool have had in the game. They've had 82% possession in the football match. What it all comes down to, Adrian, is that final third and the quality. How many crosses have Liverpool put into the area from the left and the right-hand side, and you're just waiting for that willing runner to get on the end of it? But the quality hasn't been there. Or should I say, maybe we're giving a bit of disrespect to the Cardiff defenders here. The 3 centre-halves have been absolutely superb. Every time that ball's come into the area, they've cleared their lines, they've waited for their opportunity. Yes, they're getting everybody behind the ball, they're making it hard for Liverpool to break them down. But you need that bit of quality. You expect it from that forward line of Liverpool, but it just hasn't been there. Apart from that, well, the Jota opportunity, the super save from Phillips, I have to say, with his left foot.
That's world class, that save.
It was a brilliant save to get down low to his left-hand side, as sharp as he got down. It was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And look, when Liverpool do break down this back line, you expect your goalkeeper to make saves. Well, Phillips has come up with an outstanding save in this game, and I think at half-time, they go in Cardiff thrilled to pieces because the game plan is working. They're waiting for that opportunity. In the second half, they might get one chance. It's going to be a lot of possession for Liverpool yet again in the second 45 minutes. Yes, they're attacking the cop end, which they love to do. If you remember when we came here and Shrewsbury turned them round, they actually had to attack the opposition half in the second half, but it worked for them that day. second half is all about what Jurgen Klopp can do with this 11. If it's not working for that 11, then I'm sure we're going to see the changes.
Well, we looked at the two lineups when they were revealed at about 11 o'clock, and we thought it'd be all over by now. But it's half-time, and Cardiff are very much in this tie. And despite all of Liverpool's dominating of the ball, they only have one effort on target. Cardiff have had one as well, and they probably should have had a penalty. It's Liverpool 0, Cardiff 0, FA Cup 4th round, live on Talksport.
I'm John, I'm 90 years of age, and every day is made possible with the support of lovely care workers like Carleen.
I'm Carleen, and I love my career in care, looking after people like John. I am proud to say that I'm a care worker. It's highly rewarding. I love getting to know new residents, new staff. Where I am, we're like a big family.
Search Care Careers now for a job made with understanding, made with teamwork, made with care.
FA Cup live on Talksport with Neutrogena T-Gel Therapeutic Shampoo. Official partner of Talksport's FA Cup coverage. Contains coal tar. Always read the label.
This February,
I made a shocking discovery. The moon is out of orbit.
Humanity will face...
Why are they lying about all this?
...the dark side of the moon.
We're dealing with an intelligent entity. Attack this thing.
There's a high probability that this is a trap. Halle Berry.
What's the plan?
Patrick Wilson.
Save the moon, save Earth.
John Bradley.
I have debilitating anxiety. Cerebral bowel syndrome. Like motion sickness too.
Directed by Roland Emmerich.
You have got a big gravity wave coming your way.
Did he say gravity wave? Moonfall. In cinemas now.
Deliveroo presents Match Day. There's nothing quite like being there, but spectating from your sofa can still be a win. And as any good coach will tell you, it's all in the preparation, so get rugby ready with snacks and beers from Co-op, Waitrose, Morrison's and Sainsbury's. Match Day groceries delivered in as little as 20 minutes. Deliveroo. Food, we get it. Geographical restrictions, service and delivery fees apply. Delivery times may vary. See in-app for current delivery estimates. 18 plus. Please drink responsibly.
30 seconds. 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30. Okay, I'm ready.
Recording.
Philip Schofield here. With We Buy Any Car, you can now get a quote in just 60... fiddlesticks. I mean, what was wrong with 60 seconds? Sure, 30 seconds for a quote is easier for customers, but not for me.
Take 52.
To find out how much your car's worth in 30 seconds, enter your reg number now at WeBuyAnyCar.com.
Admin fee may apply. For more information, see WeBuyAnyCar.com/info.
Why do we choose Howdens? Because they've got a huge choice of styles, all trade quality for all budgets. So there's the perfect kitchen for all my customers, with free design appointments too. Plus, with anytime ordering and everything supplied locally from stock, I can even collect the same day. Keeps the job moving fast.
Howdens. Trade quality kitchens, appliances, flooring, doors and joinery, all ready to collect at any of our 750 depots. See why we're the UK's #1 trade kitchen supplier at howdens.com.
Gents, we all know that Valentine's Day brings, extra pressures. Well, it doesn't have to be this way. Erectile dysfunction is more common than you think, and at Lloyd's Pharmacy, it's easy to treat too. Viagra Connect is available without prescription from as little as $10.99. So you sort the flowers and chocolates and leave the rest to us. Shop online at lloydspharmacy.com or visit your local store today. Lloyd's Pharmacy, always here for you. Contains sildenafil. Always read the label, subject to suitability.
In enclosed spaces, COVID-19 particles gather in the air like smoke, making it hard to avoid breathing them in. But 1 in 3 people who have COVID-19 have no symptoms and could be breathing it onto others without knowing. So take a rapid lateral flow test before you go to busy enclosed spaces or meet up with friends and family, particularly those who are vulnerable. And always stay at home if the test is positive so you don't breathe COVID-19 onto others. Stop COVID-19 hanging around.
The Premier League is bigger and better than ever. Don't miss any of this season's action on Talksport with Now. Saturday is game day, featuring Talksport's most full-on football dedicated schedule ever. From all the build-up to live commentary and post-match reaction. It's your non-stop one-shot Premier League destination. Game day on Talksport with a Now Sports Day membership. Stream the Premier League live without a contract from just $9.99. Search Now Sports, 18 plus, stream via internet, terms apply.
FA Cup game day.
It is game on!
Prepare for a football megastructure of biblical proportions.
Welcome back to Anfield. Liverpool 0, Cardiff 0 at half-time, so all to play for second half. Talksport brings you commentary of Forest Leicester at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Winner home to Huddersfield in round 5. Forest are going well under Steve Cooper and put out Premier League opposition in round 3, beating Arsenal 1-0. Steve Cooper can only see the positives of a cup run.
We're trying to build a way here, a way of playing, a way of attitude, a way of values, a way of beliefs. And I think that, you know, if you are always looking for distractions, negatives, or this gets in the way, that gets in the way, then it's a negative attitude. And we don't want that, you know. We were delighted when we beat Arsenal. We're delighted to be hosting Leicester at home, which is going to be a really good game and an important game for you know, our local supporters. So, we just see every game, whether it's Cup League, as an opportunity to improve.
There you go. Hugh Wozencroft brings you live commentary of that. 3 o'clock, we'll take you to the City Ground. We'll have a chat with Trevor Sinclair, who's commentating on the game before that. But Forest against Leicester, the holders, is a 4 o'clock kickoff. Live commentary of that FA Cup 4th round tie on Talksport. Boreham Wood, lowest ranked team left in the Cup, face Bournemouth this evening on the South Coast. Winner goes to Frank Lampard's Everton in the 5th round. The National League side have already played 4 matches in the Cup this season. Their manager Luke Garrett says it's been huge for the club.
This is massive because of the route we've had in the FA Cup. We played our rivals in Barnet in the 4th qualifying round. We then played Eastleigh. Then the big game, in my opinion, for this whole FA Cup has been the St Albans game. To then go and face AFC Wimbledon, who I had an affiliation with. We're going to Bournemouth as unbelievable underdogs, but we're travelling with 1,500 fans. And we're going there with a mindset of causing an upset and having another moment.
There you go, Luke Garrett. We'll keep you in touch with Bournemouth Boreham Woods during Darren Bent's Boot Room after 6 on Talksport. And let me run you down again the 5th round draw, which was made at 11:40 this morning. So the draw is as follows. This is for the 5th round of the FA Cup. Luton will face Chelsea, last year's beaten finalists. Palace take on Stoke. It's Peterborough United against Manchester City. Liverpool or Cardiff winners here take on Norwich. Southampton take on West Ham. Borough against Spurs. Forest or Leicester, the holders, against Huddersfield, who are going well in the Championship. And Everton take on Bournemouth or Boreham Wood. Now, these are midweek ties. They're going to be played under the lights. How good is that going to be? I think that makes a massive difference. It's going to be a fantastic midweek. First week of March. Really looking forward to those ties. And when I say I'm really looking forward to them, we know what's going to happen with Peterborough and Man City. But it is the kind of tie you've just got to embrace. In fact, they played each other in the 5th round in 1981. City on their way to the final, where they were beaten by Spurs and Ricky Villa. So it has got a little bit of history. A scrappy Tommy Booth winner, the Man City centre-back doing the business. And of course, Pep City were beaten at Wigan, League One side then, in the 5th round in 2018. They had 82% of the ball, City, 29 efforts on goal to Wigan's 4. Will Grigg won it for Wigan. Dan Burn was brilliant at the back for Wigan Athletics. So nothing's impossible, although I do know my football club. We didn't think this was going to be 0-0 at half-time. A strong Liverpool side against a weak Cardiff side, but it is goalless. It's all to play for, and the two teams are back out on the pitch here at Anfield in front of an expectant crowd. It's still Chelsea 1, Man City 0 in the WSL, live on Talksport 2 right now. But here at Anfield, Liverpool 0, Cardiff 0, live on your station for the FA Cup. It's Talksport with Mickey Gray and Nigel Adderley.
Thank you, Adrian. No changes to either side at half-time. So here are the two sides once again before kick-off. Kelleher in goal for Liverpool, Alexander-Arnold, Konate, Van Dijk and Tsimikas, the back four. Henderson, Keita and Jones in midfield, with Minamino, Jota and Firmino in attack. Liverpool in all red, attacking towards the Kop end, away to our right in the second half. The Cardiff team, Phillips in goal, Unji, McGuinness, Flint and Denham are at the back, along with Bagan, Vaux, King and Pack in midfield, Harris and Collins in attack. And Mickey Gray, I watched the penalty claim for Cardiff at half-time, Konate's nudge on Harris, and had that been given by the referee, I don't think VAR would have overturned.
Anywhere else on the football pitch, Nigel, I think that's given as a free kick. So I think that kind of says it all.
But here is Kelleher now. He's lost the ball. Wow. Kelleher has now brought down a Cardiff player midway inside the Liverpool half. The cards are out from Andy Madley, and it's only a yellow card. And the Cardiff players and fans are absolutely furious. Liverpool were caught out there by a long ball forward, and there was a break, and Kelleher came out and he hacked down Harris 40 yards from goal. He was the last man, and it's a yellow card.
Well, is that not red? I know there was I think it was Canate who was alongside Kelleher, but he's come out a long way. We're talking 25 yards away from the goal line here, maybe even further than that. He misses the ball completely, Kelleher. And Harris, who's still on the ground now, he gets nowhere near the ball. He brings him down. If he goes past the goalkeeper and he stays on his feet, he scores. I don't think Canate's got any chance of winning the ball away from Harris there. And he's a very, very fortunate boy there, Kelleher. I've seen it in the past where goalkeepers get a red card for situations like that. It's a rash challenge. It's a crazy challenge coming out of his area. Cardiff caught them on the break early in the second half. And Liverpool are very fortunate in my eyes to still have 11 men out there.
Well, Darren England is the VAR official. And Andy Madley is just delaying play here. And they are having a look on VAR for potential serious foul play and a potential red card. And the check is complete and play will continue. That is a very big moment in this FA Cup tie.
You can hear the boos there from the Cardiff City supporters, Nigel, as they just try and put the ball in the 18-yard area from that free kick. But I'd love to see that again.
Well, the flag's up for offside from the free kick, and Liverpool will be able to clear. But it was rash from Kelleher.
That's two massive calls in this game, Nigel. I thought it was a penalty in the first half for Cardiff City. And I think that they should be down to 10 men now, Liverpool, because I think Kelleher is a very fortunate boy there just to be given a yellow card. Why is he coming out that far? You know, yes, it's a great ball through from a Cardiff City player, but eventually, you know, a goalkeeper coming 25 yards out of his goal area from the goal line and making a challenge like that, he knows he's got to get it spot on. When you don't, you normally see yourself walking down the tunnel.
Well, we're just watching a monitor we can see here, and he got nowhere near the ball. And look, we don't know if Harris would have scored because he could have put the ball wide, but there is no doubt, had he gone beyond Kelleher and not been fouled by him, it was a clear goal-scoring opportunity.
Well, I just think he's very fortunate. I think it is Canate who's just alongside Kelleher as he makes that challenge, and maybe that is the only reason why he's got away with just picking up a yellow card and not a red.
3 minutes played in the second half here at Anfield. It's still 0-0. Liverpool dominated the game for long spells in the first half, didn't score, but Cardiff will look back on a couple of big decisions they will believe have not gone in their favour here, as Alexander-Arnold just tries to spread it wide to this near side and knocks it straight out of play. And
it's also not, it's where Kelleher catches Harris. You know, it's
halfway up the ankle.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
It's a red card challenge, irrespective of where he is on the field.
Without a shadow of a doubt. You know, there's contact made with the player. It's not like he's gone in with his studs towards the grass. They've scraped down the side of his calf and his Achilles tendon. He's got nowhere near the ball. Very, very lucky boy.
Well, Kelleher now clears downfield, and it's headed in field by Jones. The skies have darkened again here at Anfield as Cardiff look to win the ball back inside Liverpool territory once again, and G now fouling Tsimikas. Tsimikas wasn't too happy about the nature of the challenge, and Andy Madley will have words with him. And now Harris is also squaring up to Henderson. Van Dijk intervenes and just pushes Harris away. And at the moment, tempers are just beginning to simmer.
I just think there's a little bit of frustration in this performance from Liverpool. A lot of possession. Thought they would have probably seen this game out before half-time, which we talked about in the build-up to this game. Well, it's not been the case. And Cardiff City are frustrating this Liverpool outfit. And you can just sense it starting to boil over a little bit now with the goalkeeper, and this time the captain, Jordan Henderson, who we know is not frightened to have a little word in individual players' ears.
Now Tsimikas, released by Firmino on this near side, plays a high cross into the penalty area, and the challenge comes in, and a good challenge as well from Denham, and the ball loops high into the Kop, and it will be Liverpool's first corner in the second half here. 51 minutes played on Talksport. Liverpool 0, Cardiff City 0. Full house here at Anfield. Really good atmosphere, and it is a fascinating game despite the lack of goals so far. Liverpool play the corner short, square towards Curtis Jones, who again lets fly from 25 yards out, and again he is some way off target.
Liverpool have to calm themselves down, because at the moment all their opportunities are coming from outside of the 18-yard area. Yes, it's early stages in this second half, but they haven't come out all guns blazing in the second 45 minutes. Cardiff have had the best opportunity, all for a challenge from the goalkeeper, and they look a little bit frustrated, the Liverpool side.
Harris looking to put himself about again as he clashes with Tsimikas, but Liverpool have possession with Alexander-Arnold on this near side, but it's cut out well by Volks. Volks, though, has been shrugged off it by Minamino. Volks was having hold of his shirt, and as a result, Volks will receive a yellow card, and Liverpool have a free kick midway inside the Cardiff half.
Well, you get a yellow card for that, pulling somebody's shirt, and then you see the challenge from the Liverpool goalkeeper. It doesn't make sense, does it? Absolutely ridiculous.
But it's a free kick for Liverpool. Alexander-Arnold is over it. Over on Talksport 2, they're coming up to half-time in the WSL at Kingsmeadow, where Chelsea still lead Manchester City by a 1-0. Goalless here at Anfield in the FA Cup, with Forest against Leicester still to come at 4 o'clock with Jim Proudfoot and Trevor Sinclair. Alexander-Arnold with the free kick, and the header down is in, and Liverpool finally have the lead, and it's Diego Jota who glances the ball beyond Dylan Phillips, and after such a long defensive vigil, Cardiff City are eventually breached, and it's Diego Jota who makes the difference. Liverpool 1, Cardiff City 0.
Well, we wanted that bit of quality in the first half. I'm not saying that Liverpool deserved this goal early on in the second 45 minutes, but Will Volks has made the foul. Trent Alexander-Arnold was complaining that the wall wasn't 10 yards away. He got on with it. He whipped a great ball into the area. It's just Diego Jota. I mean, he's got an unbelievable spring on him, getting away from his marker. How many headed goals has he scored this season? It's incredible. And he just guides it towards that Cardiff City goal. Gives Phillips absolutely no chance. The pace is on the cross. He just has to guide it towards goal there, Jota. Super finish from him. And maybe, just maybe, that might calm the nerves of these Liverpool players now, and they can start showing us the quality that they really do have. But I still feel for Cardiff. 2 massive calls in this game. The penalty decision, should they be down to 10 men? But at the moment, they're not really thinking about that, these Liverpool supporters. They're just enjoying themselves being a goal in front in this 4th round FA Cup tie. But I really do feel for Cardiff City.
54 minutes played. Liverpool 1, Cardiff 0. People did wonder if Liverpool would struggle in the absence of Salah and Mane, who of course face off in the AFCON final later on today, but Diego Jota has really done a good job to help fill those gaps, and he scored a goal at a time when Liverpool were really finding this game a chore. Now Tsimikas on the far side, and again the challenge comes in from Ng, but it will be a throw-in to Cardiff. And what do Cardiff do now, Mickey? Just try and stay in the game?
Yeah, have a look. It's only 1-0. There's going to be opportunities for them, maybe a few and far between. But when they do get those chances to get into that final third, they have to show that bit of quality to get themselves back into the game. But at a certain point in the game, they're going to have to maybe branch out a little bit. The wing-backs have got to burst forward, like Liverpool's do. And that will leave gaps in behind, and when you see how much possession Liverpool have had in this game, then that's probably what they're looking to capitalise on. But yeah, big decisions in games, Nigel, it comes down to, and it could have been behind in the game, could have been down to 10 men.
Here's another crossing, looking for Firmino with a header, and this time it's gathered by Phillips at the second attempt.
Well, the quality's certainly there from Liverpool now in wide areas, which we just saw from Trent Alexander over on this right-hand side from a set piece, and now from Tsimikas on the left-hand side. Super ball in. Firmino didn't really have to work very hard to get away from his marker. Just a big leap, headed towards goal. Unfortunately, Phillips was in the right place.
Diego Jota, who scored the goals to send Liverpool into the Carabao Cup final at the Emirates Stadium, has opened the scoring here in the FA Cup against Cardiff City. A home tie with Norwich is the prize for the winner of this game. A reminder in the FA Cup, Chelsea heading to Luton in round 5. Manchester City will be at Peterborough, Palace against Stoke, Southampton at home to West Ham, Middlesbrough, good tie for them following their win on Friday night. They will be playing Spurs, and the winner of Forest against Leicester will be at home to Huddersfield. And AFC Bournemouth and Boreham Wood meet later tonight for the right to play Everton across Stanley Park at Goodison Park. Liverpool are about to make a double change, and Luis Diaz and Harvey Elliott will be coming on, and you can hear the reception for Elliott as Naby Keita makes his way off. Elliott, of course, suffered that very nasty injury at Leeds at the start of September after such a good start to the season, and he has been called a real talent by Jurgen Klopp, and he was keen to get him into action as soon as possible. Elliott now returns, and we are about to see the new man, Luis Diaz, as well. Cardiff are about to make a double change. It's Curtis Jones who comes off for Liverpool, and Diaz, the Colombian international, comes on to make his Liverpool debut. And for Cardiff, they are freshening up their forward line. Jordan Hugill is coming on for them, along with Isaac Davis, and it's the two strikers, Harris and Collins, who have gone off. Isaac Davis scored the eventual winner against Forest last week. One of the players who has come through the academy, Jordan Hugill, on loan from Norwich, having scored only 1 goal in 20 games at West Bromwich Albion in the first half of the season.
They've gone very early with these substitutions, haven't they, Nigel? What, 12 minutes into the second half, but why not? No, it's not working. The forward players have given everything that they possibly could in Harris and Collins. And Liverpool making those changes. Brilliant to see Elliott back on a Liverpool.
Here is Elliott with his first cross into the penalty area. A couple of deflections, and it's hacked away by Denham, wide to the far side. Hugill will try and win it back from Konate, but Konate out-muscles him, and it's wide towards Luis Diaz. Diaz again with the short sleeves and gloves on the far side. The player signed from Porto with 17 goals for club and country this season. It did seem as though he was heading to Tottenham before Liverpool stepped in with their bid to bring him to Merseyside, and people have often wondered who's next for Liverpool in their forward line when things eventually break up, and he could be one of the answers as Diego Jota looks to burst into the penalty area, and he's won a corner, although Aidan Flint is convinced he was fouled as he went through.
Well, those changes just give everybody a little burst of life, if you like. You know, Liverpool are springing into gear now. They're starting to play some lovely football, but they had to bide their time and wait for their opportunities to get themselves in front in this game. But I was just mentioning, fantastic to see Harvey Elliott back out there playing first-team football, and Luis Diaz will certainly remember this game.
And the corner kick is volleyed towards goal. It was Diego Jota once again, slightly off balance, but he was found unmarked inside the penalty area, 10 yards out, but it was wide of the far post.
What a chance. Got nobody within 4 or 5 yards of Jota there, and haven't scored 1 goal. When that ball falls to him there on the volley, with his right foot, you're expecting the ball just to bustle into the back of the net. Great opportunity and a big chance missed.
And you're listening to live coverage of the FA Cup on Talksport, thanks to Neutrogena T-Gel Therapeutic Shampoo. An hour played at Anfield, Liverpool leading by 1-0. Diego Jota, the goal scorer. Now Hugill tangling with Van Dijk. Davis will also come across and try and help him out, but Tsimikas has won the ball back for Liverpool, and Henderson spreads it wide to this near side. And Elliott, who made such a bright start to the season at And he's left Volks on his backside as he checks in field. Now Jota looks to release Minamino down the right, but it's quickly won back by Bagan for Cardiff, and McGuinness will go all the way back towards Phillips, who slices a clearance up towards the halfway line. Hugel leaping with Konate, but it's the Liverpool man who wins the header. And now Elliott back in field towards Henderson, and Liverpool have rediscovered their poise here after a rather untidy start to the second half. Henderson wide to the far side, and Tsimikas, but he has to check back in field and use Van Dijk. Henderson again finding Alexander-Arnold. Elliott, and now Minamino for Liverpool, and they are popping around the passes with real authority here. Elliott once again a player who is still only 18 years of age, but does feel as though he's been around for some time. Of course, had a very good loan spell at Blackburn last season in the Championship, and that was enough to propel him straight into the Liverpool first team. Firmino with a break towards the edge of the box. Solid challenge though from Denham, the player making his full debut for Cardiff. Now Jota wide towards Elliott, who comes in field, curls in the left-footed shot, and it was deflected wide off Pack for a corner.
Well, he's certainly not short of confidence, Harvey Elliott, is he? It's just brilliant to see him back out there. There was talk about him maybe not even playing throughout the whole of this season, so just to get him out there, get a feel of first-team football again. Such a confident player. He's got a wonderful left foot. He's got that low centre of gravity as well. He's kind of Messi-esque, if you like. The way he loves to run at defenders. He's great to watch.
Another corner in from Tsimikas. Confusion inside the 6-yard area as Cardiff make a hash of the initial clearance. Now it's returned by Alexander-Arnold, but Cardiff will try and clear. Hugel on the far side, but he's lost out to Firmino, and then the challenge comes in on Tsimikas from Ungine. It will be a free kick for Liverpool. We see young players at a very young age join big clubs and then disappear without trace. It takes a lot of character to impose yourself and get into a first team like Liverpool at such a young age.
Absolutely, Nigel, and to bounce back from a horrible injury, to show the character, and he's certainly got that in abundance. But he's a joy to watch. He's a talented footballer. He obviously, he likes to get on that left foot. We've just seen his strike there go wide, but he'd be absolutely loving being out there now.
A high ball into the penalty area once again for Liverpool from the free kick, but Cardiff will clear. Davis will try and chase up towards the halfway line, but in the end it's all the way back towards Kelleher, and the Rabuz for Kelleher, the Liverpool goalkeeper. From the Cardiff fans, if you've only recently joined us on Talksport, Kelleher with a wild challenge on Mark Harris about 40 yards from goal right at the start of the second half. It was only a yellow card. It went to a VAR check, and Darren England stuck with the original decision from Andy Madley, but on another day the card could well have been of another colour. Now Van Dijk for Liverpool on the halfway line with 63 minutes played here on Talksport. We have Forest against Leicester coming up with Hugh Wozencroft, Jim Proudfoot and Trevor Sinclair live from the City Ground. The coverage beginning at 3 o'clock. There's a back pass from Pack. I don't think it was intended for the goalkeeper Phillips, but in the end he has to hoof it long downfield. Davis and Hugel will try and win the ball back for Cardiff, but it's a difficult ask up against Van Dijk and Konate, and it's all the way back with Kelleher.
Well, they've got the same problem as the first half, Cardiff, that they can't get out their own half. And when they do get possession of the ball, I think they've got to start doing things a little bit quicker, because they're getting caught on the ball. And we know that Liverpool will hunt in packs. 3 or 4 players will be around you. They do not give you a second on the ball.
Kelleher leaving the area once again there on the far side. Davis was chasing, and both Van Dijk and Konate were either side of him, but it was Kelleher who came out to intervene.
Well, he's certainly got to get it right now, hasn't he, Kelleher? He's on his last warning, without a shadow of a doubt. This time, I think, it was a bit easier. He was coming onto the ball. It was bouncing in the air. Just had to clear his lines. He did have a couple of Liverpool defenders around him. But this time it was the right decision. But should he be out there making these decisions that he is right now?
Well, the towel is out for Will Vaulks on the far side. He actually leaves it flapping on the advertising hoarding out on the Cardiff right. And he will wing in another long throw here, very flat, but onto the head of Tsimikas, who heads away. Vaulks leaps to head it back into the penalty area. Van Dijk had to rise there and make that. The second header is further clear from Firmino. Now King on the far side, finding Volks down the Cardiff right, delivers the cross in, and it goes behind. Volks is convinced it should be a corner, but a goal kick has been given in the end, and Volks needs to be careful here, because that was descent towards the assistant, and he's already been booked.
Yeah, silly boy. He's asking for the corner there. I think when that ball came back out to Volks from the long throw in, it was rolled back out to him, and he had the opportunity to put the ball in the box first time. Took a touch, the opportunity had went. I think it was just a little bit of frustration there. He's waving his arms around at the referee's assistant there. Maybe just because he's in front of his own supporters, but I think they're frustrated, Nigel. I really do. Second half, they've come out Cardiff. They've not really got going apart from that opportunity where, you know, we've talked about it on a couple of occasions now. Should Liverpool be down to 10 men, but in possession, keep giving the ball away, not doing things quick enough. Maybe the game's just running away from them a little bit at the moment, because, you know, they can't get a stranglehold in it. They've made those couple of changes, but not really got the substitutes involved in the game as of yet.
Half-time in the WSL. Over on Talksport 2, Chelsea leading Manchester City by a 1-0. And Chelsea against Arsenal, a meeting of the top two, is live on Talksport, 7:45 next Friday, as Henderson comes forward now for Liverpool. Wide to Tsimikas, down the Liverpool left, supported by Firmino. Jota and Minamino wait inside the area. Luis Diaz wide towards Tsimikas, the crossing again, and Jota goes down under the challenge of McGuinness. The Cop were appealing for a penalty, but in fairness, very few of the Liverpool players expressed any interest, and now Tsimikas slips on the edge of the area as he tries to move on to a ball from Firmino, but it's been given away by Cardiff. Luis Diaz almost squeezing it back, and then it's hammered back into the net by Minamino, and that was a real defensive shambles for Cardiff City, and Minamino has surely settled the game. Luis Diaz involved on his debut. It was his cutback. He won the ball very close to the byline, should have been nowhere near the ball. Cardiff should have cleared. It came back to Minamino, and he hammered the ball in, and he's hammered Liverpool into round 5.
Well, I think it is over on the right-hand side. It was a Liverpool player goes to ground. He tries to do an overlap and run. You hear the Liverpool crowd start to cheer. They wanted a penalty. There was no way it was a foul. It was as if the Cardiff players basically just stopped and they were waiting for the referee, Andy Madley, just to blow his whistle. You have to continue playing until you hear the whistle. The whistle doesn't come. They don't clear their lines. Diaz just wins the ball back. He works the ball to the edge of the byline. A little chop from his right to his left foot. He puts the ball across into the area. Everybody seems to miss it. Minamino shouldn't really get anywhere near it. There's a player alongside him who's favoured to win the ball and clear his line. Doesn't do it. And Minamino's just stronger. Right foot, gets his ankle and his foot through it, and it finds its way into the back of the net. Should never have been a second goal. Poor defending from Cardiff. Liverpool will be thrilled to pieces because their new man Diaz has got his first assist in a Liverpool shirt. Minamino sticks the ball in the back of the net. Cardiff have just given this game away by 2 silly mistakes.
Changes for Cardiff. Tommy Doyle and Ruben Colwill coming on. And Will Volks and Eli King have been taken off. I think Volks was taken off before he potentially got a second yellow card. James Milner also coming on for Minamino. His last act is scoring the goal. And Andy Robertson will also replace Tsimikas. Tommy Doyle for Cardiff on loan from Manchester City. His grandfathers, Mike Doyle and Glyn Pardoe, were both part of City's FA Cup winning side back in 1969, and he was on loan at Hamburg in the Bundesliga 2 during the first half of the season. Now has an opportunity to impress once again in the Championship. Liverpool now have Robertson and Alexander-Arnold in the wide areas as Cardiff get the game restarted. 2-0 down here with just over 20 minutes to play on Talksport. Here is Pack with a high ball towards Hugill. He brings it down inside the area. Jota has to come back and poke the ball behind, and Cardiff City have a corner.
That's what you talk about, sharpness back there. First touch has got to be more precise. He's got to get it down on the ground as quick as he possibly can. Good defending from Liverpool, but when you get into that 18-yard area, everything's got to be crisp and sharp, and they've just been a little bit off Cardiff.
And Doyle will take the corner for Cardiff on this near side. Low scuffed effort towards the near post. It's cleared away and then given away by Robertson, but the ball was guided back over the top by Bagan and behind for a goal kick. 20 minutes to play here on Talksport at Anfield. Liverpool leading Cardiff by 2-0. So there will be a home tie here against Norwich for Liverpool if it stays like this. Elsewhere, in the 5th round draw, Chelsea going to Luton, Manchester City heading to Peterborough, Palace are at home to Stoke, Southampton against West Ham, Middlesbrough against Spurs, Forest or Leicester, who play live on Talksport at 4 o'clock, will be at home to Huddersfield. And we'll have news of Bournemouth against Boreham Wood during Darren Bent's boot room later on this evening. That's a 6:30 kick-off at Dean Court. The winners of that tie will be here on Merseyside at home to Everton. Liverpool, after one or two difficult moments here, look to have seen off the challenge of the Cardiff team at the start of a very busy month for Jurgen Klopp's team. This the first of 7 matches in February as Luis Diaz chases a long ball forward towards the edge of the penalty area, and it's gathered by Phillips. Liverpool next in action on Thursday against Leicester in the Premier League. They also have Inter Milan coming up in the Champions League and Chelsea in the Carabao Cup final live on Talksport at the end of the month, as the rain is absolutely sheeting down here now. A very sudden sharp shower has rolled in off the hills away to our left, and the players are getting absolutely drenched.
It's not good conditions now, is it, Nigel? I mean, no. It is awful. It's absolutely teeming it down.
Now Robertson cuts out a crossfield ball on the far side, but Cardiff quickly recycle possession themselves, and the ball forward was intended, I think, for Doyle, but it actually caught in the wind and fell into the path of Van Dijk, and farcical conditions for a moment or two there as Liverpool now bring it forward with Diaz. He's got Jota down the centre. Diaz, though, plays it wide towards Elliott, just forced wide by the pace of the ball down the right. Lovely back heel in field by Alexander-Arnold, high to the far post from Henderson, looking for the run of Firmino. And in the end, it's a goal kick, but it was lovely football from Liverpool.
Yeah, just a little bit too much pace in it from Diaz over to Elliott over on this right-hand side. He had to play the pull back. Trent Alexander-Arnold looked like he was going to whip the ball into the area. Super little pull back to Henderson. Great ball into the area. Used the conditions. And at that back stick, very, very close to making it 3-0 Liverpool.
And Liverpool really snapping into the challenges now. Firmino finding Elliott in a central area, wide to the far side, the left, and Robertson. And it was overhit from Robertson. He quickly apologises to Henderson as he goes behind for a goal kick. With 17 minutes to play here at Anfield, we'll have live reaction from the touchline in the final hour of the programme before Hugh Woozencroft takes over at 3 o'clock. Live from the City Ground before this East Midlands derby between Forest and Leicester, with Jim Proudfoot and Trevor Sinclair on commentary. And there is a very busy week of football coming up. Adrian will be around the grounds on Tuesday and Wednesday night, with so many games coming up in both the Premier League and the EFL. The commentary games on the home of the EFL, Talksport 2. On Tuesday night, Fulham against Millwall. And then on Wednesday, as Elliott's shot is blocked inside the penalty area by Bagan, Sheffield United against West Brom. Of course, West Brom now under the management of Steve Bruce. That will be live on Talksport 2, 7:45 on Wednesday. We now have bright sunshine here at Anfield, moments after torrential rain.
I don't know where that cloud's gone. That was over the top of this stadium, Nigel, but I mean, absolutely bounced it down, didn't it, for what, about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. But now, sun's back out.
As Liverpool come forward again with Jota, finding Luis Diaz, who has been lively on his debut, and it's cleared away by Bagan. Nodded in field by James Milner, making his 51st FA Cup appearance during his long career today. Jota drives the cross in, looking for Luis Diaz, but it's deflected away by McGuinness. Wide to the far side, and Robertson back in field towards Harvey Elliott, who turns and volleys a wonderful goal, and that is why he is such a precocious talent. Spun inside the area, and he lashed the ball in at the Kop end. Liverpool love Harvey Elliott, and that is why.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, it's just absolutely top class. Ball comes into the area. It's not the best cross in the world. One touch, doesn't touch the ground, swivels on it and just volleys it into the bottom left-hand corner. Harvey Elliott, take a bow, my little friend. That was absolutely different class. What a finish from the young man. So pleased for him as well after that horrific injury. And these Liverpool supporters absolutely love that young man. What a goal.
When he grows up, he will be some player.
I mean, he was involved in the build-up for that goal as well, Nigel, over on this right-hand side. Little give and go in the 18-yard area. Didn't panic. He had a couple of Cardiff players around him. Just didn't have to move too much from where he was. Ball worked its way out to the left-hand side, but when it came to him in that 18-yard area, you're thinking, OK, young man, might panic a little bit. None of it. Absolutely brilliant. First touch was class. Second touch, top class.
His first goal for Liverpool in his first game back from 5 months out injured. And it shows his quality and his character. Liverpool lead by 3-0. And I'm sure that is the first Liverpool goal of what will be a very long and successful career here.
It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. See a young man getting his opportunity again after a big long layoff with an injury. Jurgen Klopp doesn't mind giving young players an opportunity, and he is a little superstar.
Now Firmino for Liverpool. Luis Diaz was looking to break again, wide on the left-hand side, and in the end it's cleared away by Phillips, but things have gone Liverpool's way in the second half, but Cardiff will point to a couple of big decisions which they will believe didn't go their way, in particular the yellow card for Quaven Kelleher.
Well, who's to say if those big decisions would have made this game completely different?
Well, they were 0-0 when they happened,
absolutely nice. Yeah, it would have made it a different FA Cup tie. There's no question of that. Should Liverpool be down to 10 men? Should Cardiff have had a penalty in the first half? Well, we can only ask the question, would it have been a different scenario come the end of this football match? It's not going to be now. They've obviously got the 3 goals. And it's just been an onslaught from Liverpool in the second 45 minutes. They're just dead on the feet, Cardiff. They've just got no answers to what Liverpool have brought to the table in the second 45 minutes. But they needed to. They needed to come up with the answers. They've certainly done that. And they've just showed their quality. Jurgen Klopp's made a lot of changes in this game. And the substitutes, I mean, to top this game off for them now would be a Diaz goal, wouldn't it? Everything else seems to have happened. And it's going to look on paper a convincing win. But it could have been completely different.
And Thiago has just come on to replace Jordan Henderson, his first appearance since the 18th of December. A player who has won 4 German Cups during his career with Bayern Munich, as Liverpool look for their first FA Cup win since the Gerrard final back in 2006. Of course, Liverpool winners on 7 occasions. Famously, Cardiff were the side which took the FA Cup outside of England for the first time when they beat Arsenal back in 1927. They beat Liverpool as holders the following season, but that is not going to happen here today with 11 minutes to play on Talksport. Liverpool leading by 3-0, but now an opportunity for Davis to move forward for Cardiff, and he's found Colwill inside the area, and he has scored a really good goal. Ruben Colwill scoring at Anfield, another teenager really taking the eye here, fed by Davis, and Colwill, the young Welsh international, absolutely hammered it, and the 8,000 Cardiff fans here have a moment to savour.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. 2 substitutes. Davis really picks the ball up and he drives at that back line of Liverpool. You think his time's gone, just lays it off to Colwill. 1 touch out of his feet onto his right foot, keeps it low, gets a lot of pace behind it. Outstanding finish. And that's just Liverpool players switching off. Cardiff players catching them on the counter-attack, using the pace that they've got with the new substitutes, and an outstanding finish. Maybe a little bit too late, but who knows?
Well, the Cardiff fans have the moment they came for, and often when you are a supporter of a club outside the big 6 and the clubs with the big money, football is all about moments, and the FA Cup certainly delivers them, and the Cardiff fans here will remember that goal along with the Plymouth fans at Stamford Bridge yesterday, and of course the Kidderminster fans at home to West Ham. ultimately it may end in defeat, but you have that time just for a second.
Yeah, you know, it's a moment that Colwell will not forget for the rest of his career. Super play from Davis, drive and run, and just listen to them Cardiff City supporters. That's what they've been waiting for. They maybe thought it was going to come in the first half from the penalty spot. It didn't happen, but they've got that goal. Yes, they're going to end up losers in this game, probably. Well, we're in the final 10 minutes of this FA Cup tie, but that's a special moment for the supporters and for Colwell.
And you're listening to live coverage of the FA Cup on Talksport, thanks to Neutrogena T-Gel Therapeutic Shampoo. Liverpool leading here by 3 goals to 1. Forest against Leicester coming up at 4 o'clock. And the Cardiff supporters in great voice now. And look, if they score another in the next couple of minutes, we could have a finish.
Certainly could.
But that may have just sharpened Liverpool's minds in the closing stages. They're back underway in the second half at Kingsmeadow over on Talksport 2, where Chelsea still lead Manchester City by a goal to 0 in the WSL. Everton also lead Reading 1-0 across Merseyside. Everton now looking for their 3rd manager of the season. As Alexander-Arnold comes forward now for Liverpool. A high ball looking for Diaz. He loses out in the air to Flint, and Diaz has gone down clutching his left knee, and that's not a good sign here for Liverpool. He looks to be in some pain as Elliott plays across into the penalty area, and it's cleared away at the far post. And there's real concern here about Luis Diaz, because he leapt with Flint and seemed to fall awkwardly on his left knee, and he looks to be in real pain.
Yeah, he was waving straight across for the physios to come onto the pitch as quick as he possibly could. Yeah, it's never nice there. He's just off balance as he comes and lands back down onto the ground there, Diaz. This looks a bit of a nasty one, Nige.
It's just the way he fell in the end. He leapt and lost out to Flint in the air, and he was off balance, and then his knee did rather seem to crumple beneath him as he fell to earth, and the pain was very quickly obvious, and Liverpool's medical team are examining the left knee and are taking a good deal of care with him, but he is able to flex it.
Yeah, it's never nice when you find yourself off balance like that, you know, because you've got all the strain going through your ankle and your knee ligaments, and there's a bit of a stamp on him as well at the end of that as well, Nigel, which I'm sure added to the pain that he felt when he was falling down. Flint, as he was just coming down to ground there, I think it was his studs contacted with his knee as well. And on an afternoon like this, when it's absolutely freezing cold, the last thing you want is a stud landing on your knee as you've just fell awkwardly onto the ground. So that's why he's still on the ground at the moment. There's 2 physios there having a look at him. He's got himself back to his feet, which is great to see.
And there's a pat on the back from Aidan Flint. There was no malice there at all from the Cardiff captain. It was just the way that they fell to earth together, and Diaz is just heading across to the far side, but he's moving okay, it seems.
Yeah, it looks as if he's going to be okay to continue, which is great to see as well. Obviously making his debut for his new club as well. The last thing he would want to do was go off with an injury. Take him a minute or so to run that one off, and I'm sure he'll feel the pain of it tomorrow, maybe a little bit bruised, but he won't want to come off the pitch at the moment.
And he gets great applause from those in the lower tier of the Sir Kenny Dalglish stand on the far side. 6 minutes to play here. Liverpool leading Cardiff by 3 goals to 1 here on Talksport. And don't forget, Laura Woods and the team, Ali McCoist and Jamie O'Hara, will have Talksport breakfast tomorrow between 6 and 10. And on the sports breakfast, Eddie Hearn, Jake Paul and Katie Taylor will all be live in the studio. As Colwell comes forward now for Cardiff again, their goal scorer on this near side, turns into Elliott, and then Alexander-Arnold clears, and it hits Colwell, and it will be a throw-in to Liverpool by the corner flag on this near side. But an opportunity here now for Liverpool to have a really good run in the FA Cup, with a home tie against Norwich coming up in the 5th round. Liverpool have beaten Exeter, Plymouth, Shrewsbury twice, Everton and Aston Villa's youth team in the FA Cup under Jurgen Klopp. It's been a fairly mediocre run considering what they've managed to achieve in other competitions, but they do have a route towards the quarter-finals mapped out here. As Thiago comes forward for Liverpool now on the far side, finding Jota, who's clipped over the top looking for Firmino. Luis Diaz is under the ball, tries to control it. Denham then makes the challenge, and G brings the ball away. Luis Diaz goes down, but no question of a penalty, and the long ball forward for Cardiff, seeking out Isaac Davis, is cleared away on the far side by Van Dijk. Liverpool have a throw-in. And Cardiff will take a good deal of credit from this game when you consider the lineup sent out by Steve Morrison and the lack of experience in a number of areas. They've done well, and they have bigger games coming up possibly in the Championship, including that one against Peterborough next up, and they still need points to ensure they will be in the second tier next season. As Liverpool have a free kick on the far side. Foul on Thiago, he takes it quickly. Now Milner. Van Dijk will go through 90 minutes, it seems, here. Of course, Liverpool did have a 2-week break before this game, so this has been a good opportunity to retune before the Premier League is back here when Leicester arrive on Thursday. Bagan, infield for Cardiff to find Pack, all the way back towards McGuinness. And now Dylan Phillips, their goalkeeper, defending the Kop end away to our right-hand side. His ball wide to the far side, evades Denham, and Cardiff once again make rather heavy weather of trying to play out, and they're giving the ball away to Thiago, and here is Jota inside the penalty area. A low shot from him, blocked by a lunging Flint at the near post. Now Milner once again, and Cardiff have created issues for themselves at times. Now Thiago back in field to Milner, lofted wide to Alexander-Arnold, and he's offside, and Cardiff will have the free kick.
Well, a little bit of a breather for Cardiff there. Super play again from Liverpool. Started with Thiago, a little step over, give and go, gets himself to the byline. Another opportunity for Jota. You talk about that game on Thursday, Nigel. I mean, Liverpool's squad at the moment looks very, very healthy. Winning football matches. I think that's going to be 21 games at home now, unbeaten.
One defeat in 18 in all competitions. That game against Leicester.
Yeah, and they've got Mane and Salah to come back after this evening's game. I think it is 6:30, I believe.
Yeah, the AFCON final. There'll be news of that on Talksport as well. Egypt against Senegal. Although whether both would play, I'm not sure when they will eventually come back. There'll be 3 minutes of added time here at the end of this game, as the ball is played through by Pack, looking for Davis, and Davis challenged by Van Dijk. The Cardiff fans behind the goal want another free kick, and the referee gives nothing.
Good defending there from Van Dijk, just showed his strength and his pace. Two centre-halves alongside. But it was a foot race really, and I don't think there's many quicker than Van Dijk. They're just going to see this game out now. A lot of possession. They're still creating opportunities themselves, but they've done what they had to do in this second 45 minutes. They've scored those 3 fantastic goals. Cardiff's have got themselves on the score sheet. It's an afternoon that they'll not forget. These supporters, the 8,000 travelling supporters. And as we mentioned, it could have been completely different. 2 massive decisions, but I think overall you have to think the way that Liverpool have dominated this second half, they probably deserve to go through to the 5th round.
Now Flynn cuts out the ball ahead of Luis Diaz, who seems to be moving very freely now after that earlier injury, which is good to see. Now Flint clears downfield, only finds Elliott, who scored that wonderful 3rd goal for Liverpool. Bagan twisting and turning and clearing downfield, but it's controlled by Milner, but Davis comes in with a challenge, but Liverpool quickly have it back with Firmino, supported by Elliott wide on this near side. We will get reaction live from the touchline here at Anfield. Adrian will be here alongside Mickey until 3 o'clock before our team at the City Ground take over, before Forest against Leicester. Wide again for Liverpool to the far side, and Robertson. And they are just content to play out time here inside the 3 added minutes we still have to play. And Cardiff will make one final change at the end of this game. And I'm sure Steve Morrison, you always look for the positives, and there are plenty for Cardiff.
Without a doubt, Nigel, yeah. I mean, you look at that first 45 minutes, the way that he's backline defended. We talked about how many times his centre-halves had to clear their lines, winning headers, putting their bodies on the line. Had those opportunities in the first half and give Liverpool a little bit of a scare. So you definitely take the positives out of it. There's no question of that. You know, giving younger players the debuts today as well, the opportunity for them. It's a game that they'll never forget for the rest of their careers. I'll say to their friends, their parents, even when they become fathers themselves. You know, I remember the day that I turned up at Anfield. Yes, we lost the game, but I'll never forget playing in this wonderful stadium. That's what you take away from matches like this and days like this.
Cardiff looking to break forward on the far side, but Van Dijk steps in before Hugel and plays it back to Kelleher. And Cardiff are still trying to get on Jai Semenyo to finish this game off. The younger brother of Antoine Semenyo, the Bristol City midfielder. And he may not get time here if Liverpool continue to keep the ball in the closing seconds.
You just hope that the ball goes out of play. Young lad's probably on an appearance bonus as well. Even if he gets 30 seconds, I don't think he'll care. But also, he just wants to be out there. He wants to play on this Anfield turf.
Well, Mike Dean is talking to him at the moment, and I think he's saying to him, look, if this ball doesn't go out, you're not getting on. Here is Alexander-Arnold, and there will be a free kick here, so there will be a break in play, and there will be the opportunity for Cardiff to make this change. And it's Perry Ng who was coming off. He's had a decent game. One of the players who's been at Cardiff for a couple of years now and has already played under 3 managers. Jai Semenyo does get his moment on the field here at Anfield, albeit for a few seconds. Liverpool have the free kick. Alexander-Arnold quickly forward towards Jota. Look at the watch from Andy Madley. Now Milner wide to the far side, and Van Dijk. Luis Diaz has had a lively debut here, involved in one of the goals. And if he's going to play in the wide areas and come in field, he could be a real threat for Liverpool. But now Colwell has it for Cardiff City. Back towards Pack. There goes the full-time whistle. Liverpool are into round 5 for only the second time under Jurgen Klopp. At times they made heavy weather of it on a weather-beaten day, but second half goals from Diego Jota, Minamino and Harvey Elliott with his first Liverpool goal, and what a cracker it was. Put them in control before Ruben Colwell gave the Cardiff fans a moment to remember. Cardiff will look back on the incident at the start of the second half when Quaven Kelleher came out and caught Mark Harris way outside the penalty area and only received a yellow card. But in the end, Liverpool were just too good in too many areas of the field, and it's finished Liverpool 3, Cardiff City 1.
And finally, Jurgen Klopp is taking the domestic cup seriously. He's got the Carabao Cup 3 weeks today against Chelsea at Wembley, the final, and he's through to the 5th round of the FA Cup as well, where Liverpool will be facing Norwich here at Anfield. To be fair, they've had a decent draw so far. Home to Shrewsbury in the 3rd round, home to Cardiff in the 4th round, home to Norwich in the 5th round. So going well for Liverpool. They also had not even a little bit of help, quite a lot of help from VAR in the first half here. It was 0-0 at half-time, but these Liverpool players proved to be just too much for their championship opponents this afternoon. Trent Alexander, brilliant free kick, Jota's header. Cardiff calamity at the back, great from Luis Diaz. Minamino with the finish. And then a Harvey Elliott goal. Ruben Colwell's goal was really good. You could see it opening up for Cardiff, and they executed it superbly. Good for the young lad to get a goal at Anfield. He's been good for Cardiff when he's been on the pitch this season. But the headlines, Mickey Gray, will be about Harvey Elliott coming back from so long out and coming back and showing exactly what he can do. He is a talent.
He's a little superstar, Adrian. Yeah, I love watching him play. He's got that low centre of gravity. He obviously loves playing for this football club, and it's just great to see him back out there. But when that ball came to him in the 18-yard area, it came at pace. He had to keep it in the air. His first touch was just incredible. He kept control of it, and he swiveled onto that left foot and just kept his cool and just bulleted one into the bottom corner. Brilliant finish. I'm so thrilled for him. And I've probably got to pick a man of the match in this game, haven't I? I'll wait for that, but
okay.
Just fantastic from him.
Well, you can pick VAR as well. Darren England did well.
Yeah, VAR were man of the match for Liverpool, I have to say, in that first half. I mean, 2 really big calls with a penalty decision and then Kelleher. I think that's a red card. I really do. And look, we're at Anfield. I know they get big decisions that go their way. They did with the penalty, and I think they did with the yellow card when I thought it should have been a red card. It might have been a game changer in this football match, but at the end of the day, I think the second 45 minutes, it was just an onslaught from Liverpool. The quality that they showed, and when they got that first goal, you were thinking, when's the second and third going to follow? Great for Diaz to get his first assist, but I think the story is Harvey Elliott.
Without doubt.
Brilliant goal.
Brilliant goal. There was a slip from a Cardiff defender that allowed him so much space. I mean, people might look at it and think, well, hang on a minute, where's the defending? But he's taken full advantage of it. His first touch is so special, isn't it?
Yeah, it's superb.
When the ball comes, it's kind of behind him, and the first touch, you're thinking, well, he's going to need 2 touches, then get in position with his body weight and everything and his shape to get a shot on goal. But the first touch, and then bam, it's in the back of the net.
Yeah, and I said it in commentary. It's kind of Messi-esque the way he plays. He keeps the ball. He's got that tight control. His first touch is obviously very good. And it is, when that ball comes into the area, there's a lot of pace on it. To keep it close to his body, yes, there might be Cardiff players who slip around him, but just to keep his cool in that area, a young man, and then just to think about taking a strike on. The ball doesn't even touch the ground. It's that swivel. And the amount of pace that it gets on it, it gives Phillips absolutely no chance in the Cardiff goal because of the pace on the strike.
Brilliant. And I know people need to know a little bit about Harvey Elliott. He went back to your old club Blackburn, I think a couple of weeks ago, did an evening there. I think he helped out with charities, etc. Was so grateful for the opportunity Blackburn had given him with the loan spell. He was brilliant there as well. But that's the kind of kid that he is. I think he might have made a few mistakes as a teenager, younger teenager, but he really has grown up and far beyond his years, because remember, he's just a teenager still, but so full of gratitude for those that have helped him along the way, and that's lovely to see. It feels like, yes, he's got the talent, but it also feels like his head's in the right place and his feet are on the ground as well.
He's got a big part to play in Liverpool over the next 10 to 12 years, maybe even longer than that. Look, he's only 18 years old, and there's certain individuals who break through into a first team. They probably play a dozen games, then they'll go out on loan, they end up moving on from a club like this. But he looks like he's cemented at Liverpool, Harvey Elliott. He's got the qualities, and when you think about the forward players and the midfield players that they've got at this club, I mean, we're talking about Diaz, who's just signed from them there. I mean, you've got Salah, Mane to come back, Firmino, Jota. Harvey Elliott is a part of Liverpool moving forward. He's got so much talent, and with the quality that he's got around him and the way that Liverpool play football, he's going to get so many chances to impress everybody. Comes off the bench today, and he provides us with that. I mean, to commentate on something like that is extra special in itself. Brilliant, what a goal.
Superb stuff. And remember, he got that injury, dislocated his ankle back in September against Leeds, had to be stretchered off. I mean, just actually saying the words dislocated ankle brings a dread to me, and the pain he must have been in at that time, I can't imagine. But to go out on the field and I don't know, I mean, you must have been through injuries in your career, Mickey, but as a young player, to come back onto the field of play and to have to play with a mindset that just forgets that your ankle ever had that injury, and just to get stuck in, you're going to get challenged, there's going to be contact, you're going to have to go in for challenges as well. He's going to have to spin and turn like he did on one foot to spin and then hit that shot for the goal. I think that says a lot about your mental strength.
The crazy thing is, Adrian, when you do have an injury and you're out for about 6 weeks, or maybe even longer in Harvey Elliott's case as well, is you wait for that first contact. whether it comes in a training session or an under-23 game or a first-team match like he's been involved in today. But he didn't show any signs of that at all. As soon as he came onto the field, he was saying, I'm demanding the ball. Give me that ball and let me show you what I'm all about. He works it so well onto his left foot. He's not selfish in a way. He's a Liverpool player where he likes to get involved in the build-up. He's got a lovely left foot. He puts some nice balls into the area as well. But I think the only thing that you can really talk about is his finish. It was just him in a nutshell. Finding space in the area, waiting for that moment. And I think everybody, well, you heard the supporters when he came onto the field. He got a bigger ovation than probably what Luis Diaz did, and he's just signed for the football club. They were thrilled to pieces to see him out there, and he didn't let anybody down.
And they know the football here. They know how good Harvey Elliott is going to be. Remember, he was brought up at Fulham. Liverpool took him as a youngster. Now he's in the first team, back from that long layoff after a dislocated ankle. And boy, did he look like a superstar today. What a goal. Latest scores elsewhere. Motherwell 0, Celtic 0 in the Scottish Premiership. Rangers play Hearts at 4. Liverpool have beaten Cardiff 3-1 live on TalkSport here. In the Women's Super League, Chelsea still lead Man City 1-0 live on TalkSport 2. Download the TalkSport app for free. Swipe left. You can take a listen to the rest of that game with Joe Shannon and Claire Rafferty. And at half-time, it's Everton 1, Reading 0, also in the Women's Super League. But Liverpool are through. They'll face Norwich here in the 5th round. We'll have more reflections on the 5th round draw and build-up to Forest against Leicester, 4 p.m. kickoff, which is coming up live on TalkSport. We're hoping to hear from one of the Peterborough United defenders as well, as they were drawn with Manchester City in the 5th round of the FA Cup. I just wonder how scared he is. They've shipped 6 at Sheffield United this season, 4 at home to Coventry. They've got a terrible defensive record, and you do fear for Peterborough United in that 5th round tie. But it's the FA Cup, anything can happen. Look at Kidderminster against West Ham yesterday. Here at Anfield, we thought that Liverpool would win, and eventually they got the job done. This is TalkSport.
FA Cup live on TalkSport with Neutrogena T-Gel.